Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Amazon's Mobile Masters 2018. We finished day one. 2 games are out of the way, but we have 2 more jam-packed games ready for you. It's time to start day 2.
There is but one path to enlightenment. A true master is mobile. That is what you must become. A mobile master.
Where is he?
Where is he?
He's gonna go! He is down!
We are here in the beautiful city of Seattle, and there is $100,000 up for grabs across the course of this weekend. And it's time to get into our second day of games. We have 2 more games coming your way. It's time to find out a little bit more about that. But we are here in this incredible city. What's going on, guys? I am back at the Amazon Spheres. It is day 2 now of Amazon's Mobile Masters 2018. We've already crowned 2 of our mobile champions. We have 2 more games to go. It's time to get more esports action onto your screens. You can see our players are here in the Game On Players Lounge up on the 21st floor. They're getting ready for today's action. It's going to be starting off with Critical Ops. And in fact, let's start to break down how that $100,000 is going to be shared out here. As we take a look at the pricing for Critical Ops. First place is going to be grabbing themselves $15,000 to walk home with. That's a team of 5 players sharing that prize. Second place will be $10,000 as well. But this is going to be a single elimination tournament, so no extra lifelines when it comes to that. But before we get on into giving out prizes, we should meet some of the players. So I'm going to pass it over to our G Fuel interview with Maria Ho.
Cam, Nova's coming in as the #1 seed. Do you feel like that's more pressure on you guys to perform?
Not at all.
So you guys are ready, and with the seeding round, you guys were able to check out your competition. What are your thoughts?
Well, yesterday we just went in like with a good mindset. You know, we knew that we could do it, and we just did it.
All right, well, we can't wait to watch this matchup, so good luck to you guys.
Thank you.
All right, Cam looking confident there, but let's take a look at what's going to be happening across the course of today. Yesterday, we had 2 champions crowned, but today we're moving into Critical Ops and Survival Arena. This is your schedule brought to you by Arosi. But we're going to be jumping into Critical Ops first. So this is going to be some tactical gameplay coming your way.
Weapons, tactical skill, and a fearless drive to enter the fight. That's what it takes to survive Critical Ops. The mission is intense, the battles fierce, and the action explosive. Adrenaline-pumping combat is the only way to stop the bomb. It's an all-out edge-of-your-seat race to destroy the enemy before the enemy destroys you.
Let's take a look at the teams that are going to be battling this one out on our Amazon Fire bracket here. We're going to be starting the day off with Nova Esports going up against Hammers. Now that is going to be an absolute barn burner, but then later on, we're going to have Gangstars against CSPG. Now all of these matches are going to be intense, but this is going to be best of 1. So these guys, they don't have many chances to work with. But for any of you at home who have yet to have a watch of a Critical Ops tournament, let me explain what it's about. This is the first ever offline global Critical Ops tournament, and mobile first-person shooters don't get any more intense than this. One team operates as the terrorists, planting a bomb. The other team fights as a counterforce. Players can pick from 5 categories of weapon. Each weapon has different range, power, accuracy, and firing rate. Weapon choice, tactical awareness, and quick reflexes will be the keys to victory. All right, so here are your rules for the tournament. Now, if you've not played Critical Ops before, you win by getting 13 rounds on a map, but it will be best of 3. So each team will need to win 2 maps if they want to move forward in the tournament. It's 5 versus 5, and like I said before, single elimination, so no extra chances. But it's about time that we start to get this action underway with our first series of the day, our first best of 5. It's going to be Nova Esports going up against Hammers. Now Nova going to be stepping on forward. This is your only European representatives that are going to be stepping onto the stage today. And their first opponent is going to be Hammers Esports, one of the best North American teams there are. Absolutely chock-a-block with individual talent. I cannot wait to see how they're going to perform on the stage. My name is Munchables. I'll be hosting the desk for you guys. I'm going to be joined by Maniac and Caesar. Gentlemen, this is the first ever offline Critical Ops tournament. This has been a long time coming.
Yeah, a really long time. 1.5 years, I think, since we started, and now we finally have that event in Seattle. I think all of these teams deserve the spot in this, and I think we're going to have a blast of a day.
Yeah, it has been so long coming, and looking at this, every single player deserves to be here. Every single player could and has the potential to be one of the best in the world if they already are not.
Absolutely. We have so much talent in the building here today. But let's take a look at this first matchup. Talk to me a little bit about Nova versus Hammers. What's the expectation of these two teams coming on into the matchup?
I mean, we saw Hammers have some issues before, but coming into this tournament, we have seen some surprising results, and they really look confident. I was expecting maybe some hiccups from Nova, but they certainly look like the gods they are online even.
Yeah, well, we had some games yesterday to decide who the top 4 would be here today. So based on those games, do we have a favorite coming on into this one?
No way. These two teams have played amazingly. Hammers, okay, they lost one map, but they lost it to Gangsters. Losing to Gangsters, no shame in that.
Absolutely. Well, here's your one more stats coming on into the game. It's Nova versus Hammers, and you can see statistically fairly similar in terms of these two teams. The average kill death going slightly in favor of Nova, though, and Nova are known for those kind of really highlight individual players.
Oh, yeah. I would be surprised if Hammers actually had the average kill death in their favor, but Nova, yeah, it makes complete sense. You have star players just like Cam and Emilio, players that can single-handedly carry the teams, so it's no surprise here.
Yeah, not that they can, they usually do, and that's the absurd part. And now joined by 3 excellent solid players in the rest of Nova.
Yeah, it feels a little bit kind of like solo players versus real team environment here, and that's always one of the most interesting stories that you can get in esports, when you have these absolute superstar individual players, but then on the side of Hammers, we're going to be seeing a little bit more coordinated gameplay.
Yeah, definitely, and what surprises me is that Hammers also have really young players that can handle the competition. So these players, some have even 13, 14, and they are able to deliver on that top level. So seeing them maybe in a few years, they can easily be the best team in the world.
And it's so weird to look at that also, and it shows the age showed in the finals. Hammers have lost to Gangsters so many times in the finals already. They consistently lose in those high pressure situations. There is nothing more high pressure than this. Now the stakes are the largest they have ever been, and most people are afraid they're going to choke.
Yeah, I mean, $40,000 is on the line for these guys right now. This is as big as it gets when it comes to Critical Ops, and this could well be a historic moment in the story of Critical Ops. So these guys, they want to put their name on the trophy and be the first ever offline champions here for Critical Ops. We'll see who's going to be able to start things off strong. But let's talk a little bit more about Hammers Esports. We've mentioned how they're going to be kind of one of the more coordinated teams. Yep. What does that mean in Critical Ops? What are we going to be looking for to see that kind of gameplay?
Well, they mostly rely on just not a single player, just like a Nova would. They would actually fall back onto their tactics. They have every single action they do has someone calling it. It's not made by a single player. So Hammers, when it comes to their tactic compared to Nova, they always have that foundation to fall back onto. While Nova, on the other hand, if their star players are not performing, then they could find themselves in a ditch.
Yeah, and the big part here is the role of Fidgebits. Fidgebits, as the in-game leader, as a creator of the team, one of the founders together with Spacey, he leads this team. He researches every team. He knows exactly what they're going to do. And you see, early on in the half, they're going to lose a few rounds, but they're feeling it out. After that, when they get when they get going, no stopping them.
All right, we'll see if they can get rolling. That's going to be one of the big questions, and that's always going to be a big question, especially when you've got star players on your lineup. Is if you can get that rolling, if everyone's warmed up up and feeling it, you can have an exceptional game. But if it starts to fall apart and you don't have that synergy as a team, it can be difficult to keep the mentality strong. Let's talk a little bit about maps, gentlemen, going on into this one. What are we expecting to see? What are the comfort picks for these two teams?
For Nova, definitely Canals. But then again, Hammers as well. Canals is, I think, like 100% going to be played. If it's not played, I really don't know what we're going to watch because, yeah, it's LAN environment. We can expect some really unexpected stuff. But Canals, in my opinion, should definitely come into play.
All right.
The other maps, yeah,
We'll have to see. We'll have to see what the maps are going to be, but the players are ready to get this one going. So it's about time that we kick this game off. It's going to be Nova Esports taking on Hammers Esports. Nova coming over from Europe, the only European representatives here at the tournament, and Hammers Esports going to be their first opponent. We're about to start off our critical ops action right here. This is going to be a best of 3. Nova Esports representing Europe, Hammers Esports representing North America, here at Amazon's Mobile Masters 2018. Let's get into the action.
I would dare to say this. I said this is the finals before the finals, but every single match has deserved that spot in the finals. So whatever we're going to see here, it's going to be pure action. And now the ninth round, it's going to be Bureau. So I would definitely expect that CT side pick coming on from the victor of this ninth round. Hammers seems like on top, and they're going to end up being on top. And I'm expecting, just like I said, that CT side coming into play.
And I wonder, how did we get to Bureau? Because, I mean, Bureau for Hammers has always been that third best map, never the one they would pick first. And they have been struggling to find that third best map, as Grounded and Canals best maps for them. But after that, kind of struggling to find one. While Nova Esports, well, we haven't seen them play on Bureau that much, at least not with this lineup. But looking at the players here, definitely a lineup that can be strong. Milio had some excellent games, and also Genesis and Pocus versus Elevate had excellent performances.
Yeah, from Nova, they have the younger players, maybe not so experienced, but they're definitely living up to the name of the team. And you can see them doing their homework. You can see that you don't need more than 2-star players. Like Cam and Milio is enough. Anything else is just going to be crazy. You're going to be unstoppable. They already are. So let's just get rolling. Hammers Esports on the T side, and Nova Esports have taken that CT side. Pistol round underway. And it's gonna be that, it's gonna be a fake on the B long, but Hammers are getting those kills. Blue Eyes got in high, each getting a kill, and that's Nova losing 3 of their players in 3 seconds alone.
And I love this setup from Hammers. They had 3 players in back vents. They were looking for that rotation to come in today, but Cam is here. Cam can get one onto God. Still 4 players remaining for him to take out. There's the second, and Cam is as good on land as he is online.
How is Nova doing that? It was a 5 against 2, and Cam gets 3 kills in a single area. He was in the monitor room, and he got 3 kills. No one was able to refrag him. And just like that, Nova completely turn around the outcome.
They steal it away, and this is kind of expected. We have been hyping up Cam and Milio, but they are considered to be the best duo in Critical Ops for a good reason, and what a start that is. But I'm worried for Hammers now. They have shown the tendency to choke, and this is a perfect example of how to choke away a perfect round.
Yeah, I mean, it's a LAN environment. It's easy to get choked up. You can hear the enemy players actually screaming at you, so it can get to your head. You have to have a great mental fortitude. But let's see how this will go. Nova Esports expected to clean it up without any issues whatsoever. You can see Kraken just alive, just barely. He gets the kill onto Cam, so some economical damage is going to go towards Nova Esports. But Nova can be more than happy with the outcome of these 2 rounds.
Definitely so. I wonder, Hammers is not the team that usually forces on these kind of rounds, but they will change it up, deciding that, okay, we lost 2 rounds, but we are going to force it up now, and you can see the impact that has on their economy. You see 2 shotguns. Oh, wait, this is a weird buy. This is something new. 1 AK, 2 shotguns, and 2 pistols.
Yeah.
This is going to be interesting to see how they play it out. And you can see that their setup, they have left A completely open. The Cam takes a blue. Excellent nade onto Cam, though, to equal it up.
Yeah, that frag was needed from Fishbits. Now it's all equal, but they still have to be careful. Hammers Esports have lost one of their defenders, and not to say that they're lacking utility, especially Fishbits. He only has a starting pistol, a smoke grenade, and a couple of more. But look at Sneaky. He's already deep inside A. He can get a frag here from the CT spawn. It's just a matter of timing. He has a lot of info. Now you can see that Nova Esports are going to be opting out to rotate. He spots the player. Not the frag though. Now Hammers realize that someone is on A and Sneaky. Actually, Emilio gets the frag on a high, but the player still on A is still lurking around, but he's gonna be under a lot of pressure. There's Emilio to pick it up. That's a site for actually Nova, excuse me. And now it's all up to the players of Hammers. Oh, should I say God left alone, but he will be, or not actually. Can he prove himself that he actually is a god or a mere mortal?
Well, with 9 health, I think any god is mortal. And at this point, he will decide to save, running away, getting the AK into the next round. Right into the crosshairs of Genesis.
Whoa, what's that? Okay.
No idea. But still, saving that AK is really important here, because Hammers didn't do a full buy. 2 players only on pistols, 2 shotguns, meaning that with this AK, they can pull it out in the next round. They can get a force round going.
I mean, Genesis, it's like he saw a god or something.
No idea.
But come on, that was good. You have to laugh at it.
No. It's the third round. The bonds cannot start already. Come on.
Jesus. Okay, the first match, but Nova 3-0. Just like that, Hammers need to find a way. They have bought up in the previous round. They had 3 players forcing up, and now they're actually gonna scramble a buy, and that's gonna be 4 or 5 AKs. So the guns are rolling into their favor. They already have some. They have some nades. They have sufficient amount of nades. But when it comes to Nova, they're the ones in control right now, and they can do whatever they wish. But they're gonna do that orange take. It seems like it's only one player at the HQ. No one's stopping them just yet. They're probing the defenses before doing anything. But it seems it's gonna be that classic B split through Sandwich, and 2 players might take control, but Kraken gets the double. There's a triple. Cap goes down as the last victim, but Focus is gonna try and salvage this round, but I don't think they can do much. He gets 1, and he goes down to high, and that's a high caliber round from Hammers that you need.
Yeah, exactly what you needed. Kraken, perfect peek, getting it while they're setting up their utility, sprays on 3 players, and that's round over. And Hammers, they're coming back into this. They're showing that they're not here to play around. They're here to go and, first of all, yes, win a lot of dollars, but regain their honor. They have been losing in the finals so many times. They have to show that they can work under pressure to establish themselves. Then again, Nova, similar plan, or maybe going into back vents, but there's a player waiting for the back vents who will definitely be able to wrap around.
Yeah, he's wrapping around. He's trying to peek him away. Great grenade. Genesis down to 30 HP. A lot of players. Look at the HP on Nova's side. Sneaky goes down, and it's just a bloodbath here on the side of Nova. God finds 1. Actually, Genesis finds 1, but it's all downhill from there. God finds a triple, and that's going to be Hammers taking away the 2nd round in a row. And you can see the economy from Nova Esports was not looking great in that round.
Having a revolver or 2, I believe, on Genesis definitely did not help out a lot. But now, as the game is getting going, Nova Esports forced into an eco round, actually. Only Focus buying a Kevlar. But a couple of pistols. This is going to be a rush into mid, rush into Sandwich, and but it's already 2 players on site. Still taking out the HQ player, all up to high now. Get 3 with the nade! High, oh my god, and the 4th!
More, he's gonna get more, and that's how you just raise up the morale of your team. And such explosive rounds from Hammers. Nova's trying to surprise them with their rushes, but they're not having any of it. High with the collaterals, God with the triple kills, and even Kraken, wherever they go, they just got met up with solo kills.
Constantly, and they are always forcing that mid area. They're trying to get control of Sandwich and HQ. Never able to get in. Now, still, this is going to be the same plan. 3 guys into B long, 2 guys in the mid, but Nova usually really work off of that back vent, but Cam gets the opening pick with that Euratio, finally on his favorite weapon.
Yeah, once he gets that Euratio, he can be really deadly, and he's showcasing that just now, but God is gonna get that late refrag high on the end, and he gets 2. Perfect position. Cam had the Euratio, missed the shot, and High just capitalizes, but look at the pace of these rounds. Cam had the great opening. Look at God, 9 frags. Emilio's sitting on 7. And yeah, of course, the star players from Nova sitting on top. Nothing too unexpected. But what I didn't expect is such high caliber gameplay coming up from Hammers, and not team-wise, individually.
But you can see also the team play in effect. You can see the rotations coming in. Now 1 more eco round. Oh, it's up to High to spray it down again. Gets Sneaky, and he got the 2nd. Of course he can. He's High.
Yeah, Fishbits, what a help of Fishbits, but High has none of it. He has confidence, but Emilio is going to end him up, but that's not going to matter a lot. They're just going to be rushing him down. Emilio goes down, and Hammers 5 in a row. It was 3-0 at first after winning that pistol round, Nova. Just like that, Hammers are already strongly in the lead. If they got more than 7 rounds here on the CT side, they're looking really good, like they might even take the first map.
Yeah, exactly. And also one thing important to point out, Fishbit's on that gear ratio. Usually it was Shadow, but Shadow no longer on the active roster, not on this LAN. So Fishbit's taking that role and taking that gear ratio towards the A side. But Hammer's really passive on that A side. They're only spotting, they're going to retake it if Nova come in. And Nova finally thinking about going in, but Cam looking for a pick, but there's no one there.
Yeah, Nova's a team. Hammers realizes that Nova is a kind of a team that tries to get that opening pick before doing anything. Something like that happened in the last round, but Cam opened up Orange. Thank God the defense from God was strong enough to stop them, and High as well. High especially. Look at it, Kraken with the Super 90, gets the frag with Emilio to start it off. Once again, Nova not looking good. It seems like they're lacking some utility to actually smoke off the angles and to try getting. They're just going in dry, and they're going to punish. High finds Sneaky, and Kraken's still a danger here in Orange. He gets grenaded out, but not going to be enough to finish him off. Down to 26 HP. 4 against 3 in favor of Hammers. They're going to be working their way towards mid, it seems like. They are pretty passive. 28 seconds remaining on the clock. And there's still no pushes from them. They got punished. Hammers have done their job. Now it's up to Nova to make that first move.
Yeah, and looks like Nova will be going towards Banana. This is not a good angle to take. You're lacking utility. There's Blue Eyes, but Cam on that refrag, able to get him going. Still no bomb plant. 10 seconds left on the clock, and I think Hammers only have to survive. No way to get into the site at time. And Cam will be trying to save that your ratio, close range shot. But does it matter? It does not. Hammers taking the 6th round.
And whenever you think that, oh, he has a sniper, he's not going to get the frag. No, this is Cam.
Yeah.
He uses your ratio basically like a shotgun.
If he has to, he can also use the long range, mid range, or any other weapon, or in combination with utility. Cam is a pretty good player.
Yeah, I would say so. He can sometimes like be good.
Yeah,
Pretty
yeah,
good,
you
like
know.
dropping 30.
You know, one of the best in the world, definitely.
I think I've heard of this player. I'm not.
Yeah, definitely not a superstar or anything. But it's up to Cam now to get that opening pick with that gear ratio.
That's risky. You don't want to do that against Cam, but thank God he did not fire in time. He was not ready for that peek. But I'm certain he's not going to peek again. And look at this. Nova just get some, actually Hammers get some info on Banana, B-Long, excuse me. And that means they're going to go back Nova. Now they're trying out to see, you can see that Cam is trying actively to find that peak, but Hammers are not giving him anything, and that's the smart way to do it. You don't want to give Nova any room to work with. You just want to go on sites, let him come into your crossfires, and that's where Hammers actually excel. Their crossfires are strong as ever, and you can see that whenever they get into a site, you can see just a rain of frags on the side of Hammers. Let's see if that can happen again. Can Nova Esports actually get into that A side? They're rushing in, but Blue Eyes has to do something. He's pre-marked, but not getting the kill. Now he gets the kill. Can he get some focus? But no, Nova actually gets the 2 kills, and now they have A side under control. It's up to Hammers to make that retake.
Yeah, they have to try it out, but Kraken, that Super 90, not that good on that retake. You have to get in. And with Cam already having that duration, but excellent nade onto Emilio. Evens it out. 2 players from CT, Kraken pushing in, and this is a pretty close range. He can pull it off here.
Bad positions coming out from Nova Esports. They're stuck together. Kraken knows what that one player's over there. Most likely he has the shotgun, not turning around. Check your corner. Cam gets the kill. He gets the second one. What is going on, Hammers? God left alive, and Cam is not moving an inch. That's smart. He does not want to do anything until he hears that defuse sound going on. God trying to defuse, pre-firing the angle, and that's not going to happen. Not enough time for you, God. He gets the kill, but I don't think there's enough time to make the defuse happen. As it happens, he gets blown up. And that's going to be Hammers losing that A round. Finally, Nova Esports break that combo.
Yeah, but one thing you have to appreciate with Hammers here is the snap rotation that happened. As soon as Cam tries to get the opening pick, fires up a shot in Banana, suddenly player CT, 2 players coming into a cafe, all over the side, making their life so much harder. But no one pulled it out. Oh, Cam, that's aggressive. Not able to get the pick onto Blue Eyes.
You need someone to refrag you. That's Cam, but misses the shot onto Blue Eyes. They needed that frag. They need to return that frag, but no one was close enough. Maybe a bit of miscommunication coming up from Nova. Emilio was a bit way too far. No one covered his angle. And they missed the opportunity to refrag. And now it's going to be Hammers having that player advantage. What's the response coming up from Nova? The reply from High actually is going to kill Genesis. More players remaining. It seems like Nova don't have a plan. Their plan is basically to try and kill him. But A-side looked good, but not anymore. It seems like Hammers are basically controlling the sites, and they have no issues. Focus gonna be pushing into vents.
The bomb is in vents. They have back vent control, and Cam make sure Kraken picking for information and gets punished for it. Luckily, Fishbits on that rotation. Hammers have Noah boxed in into back vents, but that's an okay position to be boxed in. Just God has to watch two angles. The timing is crucial here.
He spots the shoulder. He should get the kill. He does, and he knows the other player is close to him. It's gonna be Cam. Really hard shot to hit from Cam, and God is just gonna defend that B site, getting the double kill. Look at the kills. High and God showing up. 12 kills each. Cam on 13. But look at Nova. Other than Melee and Cam, not really showing up just yet.
I mean, it's what we talked about. Okay, Cam and Melee are the star players, but you have that solid foundation. That solid foundation not showing up so far. Cam will eat a flash here, but there's still only one player on the A side. Switching their playstyle a bit, Hammer is definitely really dynamic on this A side. You can see now a different players only playing to spot it out, and one player, two players into monitors coming into hell, but will that work out?
Fishbit's gonna be pushing in. He's aggressive. He gets the spray down, but not enough bullets to get the third one, but his job is done. Genesis down to red HP. God and Kraken, should I say, should not lose this round. This should be their round unless, okay, you can throw the grenade, but it has to be over. If he threw that grenade correctly, Genesis would not even plant a bomb, but he does manage to get himself into an after plant position. We have seen some crazy clutches happen from this kind of a position. Genesis hiding between the servers or those boxes on the A side. Never knew what exactly there were, but he's gonna be peeking out this other side. He gets the kill, but already God has made enough space for Genesis not to know where he is, and he's gonna get that defuse in. Comfortable defuse, and that's gonna be the last round of this half. Hammers on 8. I was not expecting that after losing 3-0.
Yeah, but they have turned it around. They lost the pistol, lost the ecos, had that weird force buy, and then they just got the ball rolling. Then again, this is Bureau. This should be an equal map, so 7-5, 6-6, 8-4, slight advantage going to Hammers Esports. But nothing Noah can turn around, and Noah, their CT sides can be exceptional. Let's see what the pistol is. Hammers looking to rush into the A side. One player on that A side will have to stop them, or at least delay.
Yeah, A side is under full siege. They have to be careful.
Look at the nade!
Has to go. Yeah, that's how they do it. They grenade them while they're trying to run it. That's a perfect reply coming up from Nova. They got a lot of damage. Melio down to red, but look at the HP coming up from Hammers. Sneaky, getting the first gun to Blue Eyes, but again, the grenade doing so much damage on Nova. From the beginning to the end, and Cam is gonna get that double kill. Only losing one player in the process. It's gonna be the defuse and exactly what they needed. They won the first pistol round, got the follow-up eco rounds as well, and now they managed to get the second one as well. So this is gonna, should in theory, give them 2 extra rounds.
Unfortunately for Hammers to lose both pistol rounds, but definitely that is the starting point that no one need to get back into this game. You can see they also need someone else to step up. Cam, 16 frags, everyone else lagging behind, and Hammers going for that sandwich push. Oh, but they're sneaky with the nade onto God. Nothing going their way.
Look at the damage. Cam with the 3K and Fishbits just like that. That round is over in 10 seconds. And as far as I noticed, Hammers actually 4-spot. And they did nothing. They had some SMGs, they had some revolvers and whatnot. And Hammers were not able to do a single kill, which is going to mean that Nova Esports are just racking up that money in their banks. Hammers need to go eco since they have invested some money in the previous round. Pocus already sitting with that U ratio. I'm actually surprised Cam is not with the U ratio, but seeing his position, it makes sense. Pocus is going to be playing for monitors, trying to get those picks early on. He got some info, but no kills just yet.
A tough position to get those kills. He's going to have to try. Hammers though, they usually want the team to force buy. They usually want the team to be this aggressive. They would eco 2 rounds in a row. But this game, forcing on the third in the first half, forcing on the second half, and now left only with revolvers and 19-11. It's going to be hard to pull off, and Melio, he's getting just a little bit bored. Peeks out, takes out Fishbits.
Melio's signature weapon, the M4. The only player that really uses it consistently and is successful with it. You can also see Cam uses it. So maybe there's a secret here behind it. Cam and Melio, they both have a lot of kills, so maybe the M4 is the answer here. Not a lot of done by Hammers. It's only Blue Eyes remaining. Melio is the only one damaged next to Cam, who is already dead. But he has made some ground, gets the kill onto Genesis. Good start. He might even grab a plant here, which is going to get extra cash. He will. He needs to get position quick. He needs to take something away from Nova Esports. A lot of sound being made by him, but he's making the right choice. Gets the kill onto Pocus, and now this is a great position to clutch it out. 1 against 2. Land in his favor gets the second. What? Blue Eyes get all 3 kills in a 1 against 3. Hammers Esports nail down Nova Esports.
I was about to point it out. Blue Eyes lacking behind. Should be the star player for this team, but right when they need him, out of an eco round, gets one, picks up the M4, and clutches it out. What a player, and maybe there are 2 gods on this team.
Oh, they're hyping it up in the studio. I can imagine Nova Esports. We have said they're a team that can tilt easily, but Cam gets, it's just like fuel for him. Gets the first kill. Fishbits gets the return frag, but it's all Nova from there already. Sneaky with a double kill while they were crossing onto the site. Focus with the shotgun. Sneaky cannot find the second kill. It's only gonna be Fishbits remaining against 4 angry players from Nova after losing that 1 against 3. This cannot happen again.
Definitely Fishbits is going to try, but in a little bit of a worse position, as he only has 30 health and no bomb to pull it off. And you know, it's not Blue Eyes. Then again, sneaking around backwards. Nova playing this one out patiently. They have the bomb, they're taking control of it, and they are going to make sure that that Fishbits doesn't get even close to them. And still, we mustn't forget, Hammers only won 1 round in this half. They do not have the economy going. They're probably going to have the eco after this one again, and Fishbits not saving the AK.
This is definitely far from over, but that could have been a huge momentum switch. I thought Nova Esports is gonna just concede a few rounds after that kind of a play from Blue Eyes. My God, but look at Cam. Even though they're losing, he's sitting on 22 kills, just pulling the whole team behind him. Emilio needs to step in a bit more, but at least they're getting the rounds in. Now the economy from Hammers, I think this is their last buy before going to eco, so they're gonna try their best to not make it a reality. Trying to split it up. It seems like a fake on the B side. Actually on the A side, 2 players are rushing in. The rotation coming in from Hammers, but is it a bit too late? Will they go for mid? Look at a player pushing in mid. They can be punished if they do. Cam finds the kill. He finds the second and the third, just racking them up. Emilio with the 4th, and only Kraken remaining as the last player. They do not realize that someone is gonna push in mid.
Cam even getting the 4 here, and Cam is playing a crucial role in this whole game, but on this CT side, he's playing around mid, meaning that he is the rotation guy. If they're going A, he's going to rotate monitors. If they're going B, he's going to rotate to HQ. And if nothing's happening, he's going to get board, push mid, and get 4 kills. So that's the usual Cam, but his role is crucial here, and he has to be on point. Luckily for Noah, he is on point. 1 round separating these 2 teams.
I was really afraid that Nova Esports, their star players, are gonna not perform in the LAN, but hold up, look at Nova again, just in 5 seconds. The round goes over, and that's how they are gonna be equalizing the scoreline, 9-9. Both of these teams look really good. Hammers maybe on that, as we already mentioned before the match. When it comes to their team play, you can see by their score, it's all equal. On the other side, Cam, as expected, 28 kills. Is he actually gonna break their record on the LAN?
Oh my.
So the record of, I always change the numbers.
Yeah, it's 36.
36 kills was the highest amount of frags in a single game. And look at Noah just having a death match with Hammers, making it look easy. Got down to 4 HP. Cannot expect a lot from him. Even though his name is God, he should go down as he does. Sneaky finds him. It's going to be Nova Esports taking the lead in a long time after that initial 3-0 lead.
And in this half, that in-game leader battle, because we cannot forget, Sneaky, one of the best in-game leaders in Europe, able to get Nova on top, at least for a while. Well, Fishy has to be the best in-game leader in North America, maybe even the world. At that point, this is also a duel of minds. This half, though, Nova Esports winning it. Hammers only have 1 round on the terrorist side, and that was off of Blue Eyes and his individual play.
Yeah, Focus seems like he's the designated Eurasia player on the CT side. Fishbits finds a frag on the sneak, and I'm expecting more from them. They only have pistols, but Cam is going to rack him up with a bit of help of Emilio. And just like that, you can see those rounds going so bad for Hammers in a few seconds. And only God remaining, yeah, he only has the pistol. It's a bit of a throwaway round from Hammers, but each round counts. Now they're really approaching that final destination, which is 13 rounds. And the player gets the shot onto Cam.
He's
Can he actually do this? No, he cannot. Genesis finds the last kill. And Nova Esports running away with a 2-round lead. Only 2 separating them from taking map 1.
31 frags on Cam. at least 2 more rounds to go, if not even more. Cam is an absolute monster currently on this map. He is showing that BOA is his map. Still more to play for in this best of 3. So let's see if Hammers have an answer for him finally. No one on to B. Finally a player coming into B. There's going to be a B split. Firstbit's headshot on the sneaky, starting it off good.
Yeah, good reply coming out from Hammers to changing up the pace to surprise Nova, and they certainly do surprise them. Cam last remaining, but this guy can do a lot of damage. 3 kills in 3 seconds and only 2 players remaining. Both of these players are relatively low, so if Cam finds a 1-against-1 duel, he can definitely make this. He can make that revenge from that clutch from Fish, or Ice actually. Getting it to the side through the smoke, but God is going to be waiting through the perfect angle. And I think even if he got the frag onto God, Blue Ice was in the perfect spot to actually refrag. Cam, to make history, you only need 3 more kills.
Well, at this point, he's going to reach 40 if he continues to go like this. And if he got this 1 versus 5 clutch, that would have been way too much. That just would have been completely unfair. But now Hammers, off of that last bonus, now winning around, they're going to have a pretty good economy. And B split forward, they're going to try it again. This time though, Cam rotates in onto mid and gets through. Sneaky doesn't lose the duel to Fishbits.
Tying up the record, but that's not important now for Nova. They need the victory. Nova Esports do get that favorable outcome in this round, or do they? They get actually 2 players down. Blue Ice and God find the kills, but Cam quick on the refrag. And God remaining 1 against 2. He does realize when one of the players is, but this is a really hard situation. He can pick up the bomb and potentially rotate to A, but he cannot make a lot of noise here. Yeah, really important round here.
Also, there's a player in B long and back once. He is going to be peeking towards A, meaning that he will spot God if he decides to go through a cafe. And that's exactly what's happening, unless God will not go with the longer route through servers. Still that player not in a position to spot him, and God flanks him, takes Emilio.
Yeah,
and it's a God versus Cam.
Oh my God, Cam is low HP, but even then, God needs to be careful, especially against Cam. 17 HP is what separates God from taking that 11th round in favor of Hammers. Cam is going to be making his way through from Cafe side. He's actually thinking he might come towards CT, which we have seen a lot of players do, but not gonna be the case. He cannot overthink this scenario. Cam sneaking away. Time slowly ticking away. He needs to rush in a bit, fake it out, make a reaction come in from God. Is he gonna peek out? He needs to be careful. There's the kill from God, and that's a crucial round to have from Hammers. They're gonna be equalizing it. They do not allow Nova Esports to get on that match point. It was 4 against 2. They turn it around, but Cam has officially broken the kill record. 37, 36 was the previous record, and that was, I think, static for a year, almost a year, a whole year. And Cam, in what better way than on a LAN to break that record?
And he's not done yet.
Definitely not. We can maybe see 40, but he wants that victory. He does not care about kills. Milio getting the kill into high. The refrag happens, but look at the position from Cam. He gets 2. He gets actually 2. I thought he might get 3, but it's all down to Milio. I really thought Nova might actually win this round easily, seeing their positions, but now Emilio stuck in HQ. A player that has delivered in the past, player that has played for one of the most legendary teams, Team Phoenix Train. Emilio peeking away, the plant has come in, he knows exactly where the player is. He's not gonna get the shots, and Kraken does manage to get Hammers on that match point.
Yeah, map point coming in, 12 to 11. God leading the charge for Hammers, but that's nothing compared to Cam having an absolute stunning game here. Still Nova Esports. They have all the equipment they could want. All AKs, Milo and M4 of course, and all the nades. Now they have to pick this round up. No room for mistakes in map 1 left for them, and Fishbits calling to go to bit split once more. Let's see if it works out.
They're not gonna slow up the pace. Hammers know that Nova Esports have some issues with stopping the rushes, and it's working perfectly. Hammers Esports, and Cam from behind gets 3. What is this guy doing? How is he playing like that? But God gets the victory. And what a match to start it off today. Holy hell. 13 to 11. Hammers 23, but more importantly, Cam is over 40 kills.
42 frags per Cam, but look at the relief on Hammers. Oh my God, that was a close one. And Cam has to be disappointed.
That is a heartbreaking loss for Cam right there, but a heart-stopping win for Hammers. And I mean, you guys were talking before the game started about how this was a real team unit in Hammers versus singular superstars for Nova. Cam proved that fact right there. Over 40 kills for himself, breaking the kill record in all competitive history for Critical Ops. But Hammers managed to pull it through in the end. And what a way to start the entire tournament.
Exactly. I'm lost for words. I mean, imagine dropping 42 frags and not winning the game. That has to be heartbreaking for Cam, but they cannot get heartbroken at this stage. This is still not over. They still have 2 more maps. And I have to commend Hammers on their just... They were not tilting. They were not even phased about Cam. They did not care that he's getting those kills. They just did their own thing. And they actually managed to win the victory. They actually managed to win Bureau as well.
And look at Cam. The guy is actually talking to Hammers and taking his phone out. He is completely relaxed. He's owning the camera. And you could see in the interview, he is confident.
Yeah, and I think... how could you not be, right?
Yeah.
When you've just out-fragged the opponent in the style that he just did, I'd be feeling confident too.
Yeah, I mean, you can see smiles on Nova. It doesn't seem like they're too bothered. Yeah, of course, it's gonna be a bit of an issue, but they know that they can win easily against Hammers. But losing Bureau, I was actually thinking that Nova might actually take it, but that was a key map for Hammers to take. Now it's a bit easier. They only have to win 1 more. So we'll have to see. I mean, no Cam with that kind of a performance. Emilio not really showing up in the second half. First half was all Cam and Emilio. The second half was all Cam. Emilio kind of, he almost clutched that. He needed that clutch in order to win.
He was phased out. And now, I mean, going into maps forward, Cam has had this kind of a performance on Bureau. But looking at if Canals is coming up, that is his map. That is his signature map. That is the signature map for the year ratio. Perfectly fits his playstyle. I'm afraid.
It definitely could be what tilts the balance. Now, don't forget, guys, we have a competition going on for all of you at home. All of the information is at the bottom of your screen right now. Make sure to get involved and you can win some good stuff in-game. And that's going to be happening all weekend long. But we're going to be quickly heading towards map 2 in this series. And even though Hammers managed to pull that one off in the end, one of the most interesting things about that game to me was for the majority of that game, there was only 1 player on Hammers that actually had a positive KDA.
Yeah.
They were winning rounds, but they were not winning the Angels. Does that make you nervous for them moving on in this series, or do you feel like that team support network that they have going is going to be enough?
I think Hammers played this the best they can, to be honest. I think I think the reason why they had such the difference in KDs compared to Nova, I think it's their perfect crossfires, because it sees Nova. It just showcases that Nova tried everything. They tried A, they tried B, but they always got met up with some resistance. They always lost an unfavorable amount of players when coming into the sites. So actually, Hammers looked really good. I think Nova Esports, the other players, Pocus and Genesis, they need to wake up a bit in the second half, in the second map.
Yeah. And also the thing is that with Hammers, the way that they're set up, they're going for kind of a gambit. We'll have 1 guy peek out, sacrifice him so the other guy can get 2 kills. Definitely going to hurt your KD. Looking at Cam, it's like, I'm going to push out and take out 4. And that's going to happen for the whole map, meaning that definitely the kill death ratio going their way for a reason.
You know that it's a terrifying player when your strategy can be like, okay, Cam, you go this way and kill all 3 of them, and then the rest of us can come.
Hopefully kill the rest, you know?
That's an interesting strategy to be working on. I want to quickly shout out Blue Ice as well.
Yeah.
Because we haven't really mentioned it. We actually have a Razer Phone replay brought to you guys by Qualcomm Snapdragon. So we can take a look at some of the highlights of this game. We'll talk a little bit about Blue Ice if his clip comes up. But he was definitely a standout player as well. Managed to get his 1v4 round and clutch the situation for his team.
I mean, that was a round that pretty much turned the tides of the match. If he did not clutch that round, I'm pretty sure this could have went into the favor of Nova. It surely would, because he saved them from getting to that match point, and Nova Esports would feel good. They do not stop at that. But man, winning out that 1 against 4 in such an unfavorable spot with so little time, he managed to get that solo player, the perfect player that he needed to kill in that position, plants the bomb, just gets those kills.
These replays have basically been a high C montage so far. We didn't really mention high C, but early on in the game, he was actually really fragging out.
Exactly. High, definitely, High and Blue Eyes should be the star players here. Vitality not able to make it onto the LAN, but High and Blue Eyes more than enough able to pull it out. And the confidence on Cam is absurd.
That's Cam, and that's awesome. Seeing him confident on LAN, I was really worried for some of the players to not play up to their expectations, because it is a LAN environment. It's the first time they actually actually came, but they are really surprising. You can see the mentality on them. It's like they're playing at home.
Here it is.
Here it is. Yeah, Blue Eyes getting those kills. Oh man, yeah, that's a really tough round to lose. And look at God, he just enjoys it.
Yeah.
Really key around there.
You've always got to love those moments when you're just watching your teammate, you're already dead, and you just got to pray that they can pull it off. And then when they do, when they clutch like that, that's got to be such a great moment for the entire team.
Oh yeah.
And also in the replay, we saw some understandable frustration from Cam, pulling off plays like this game after game, round after round. But then his team losing it out in the end, and Hammers getting map 1 on Bureau.
You can make a whole movie out of this replay segment.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's phenomenal stuff for Game 1. And let's bear in mind that that's just the first map of this entire tournament. And what a way to start things off. Almost as long as it could have gone. Hammers just about clinch it, but it could not have been closer, quite frankly. I'm excited to see if Nova can bring themselves back into this tournament. Obviously, with a player like Cam on your team, if you can just have a little bit extra out of the other players on that squad, they have a serious chance of taking this series back right now.
Yeah, I think as long as they're not arguing, as you can see on the after the match, that they were all smiles. They know that they can still pull this out, and that's a good thing. I think that Cam should transfer his confidence onto the other players, that he should just motivate them, because this was just a matter of a single kill, to be honest. Like, it's a kill that pretty much decided the outcome of this match. So they were definitely not lagging behind. You saw errors from both of these sides, but both of these teams were really neck to neck.
Yeah, and I mean, one thing we have to focus on here, yes, I will talk about Cam's excellent performance, but Hammers had an exceptional CT side.
Yeah.
On their counter-terrorist side, you could see that the rotations just happened instantly at that point. They're dynamic, always switching out the playstyle, playing it differently on A, getting the ratio onto Fishbits, meaning that no way to predict it. And it showed, but oh god.
Let's get rolling. It's going to be Canals as our second map. And it's gonna, the knife actually already passed, so we already have the pistol round underway. We're going to have Nova Esports on the CT side and Hammers on that T side, but they're already rushing it on A. It was a stack on B, and Nova Esports, something we usually see on Canals was either stack A or B and just retake the other site, and that's exactly what Nova Esports is doing. They're going to start off that retake, but it's going to be Hammers stopping them right in their tracks. 3 kills in their favor, only 1 player remaining. That's going to be Genesis as the last hope, but does not last a long time as they lose that first pistol round. Nova Esports lose their first pistol round.
Yeah, and well, Hammers did not play Canals in this tournament yet, but we know what they can do. They're the only team in the world that can defeat gangsters on this map. But after that, Nova played Canals yesterday, and Nova stomped Vision Gaming 13-3, just completely demolished them. So with that kind of performance, we'll have to see what they can bring. But now in this round, it's going to be Hammers taking the pistol.
Genesis finds that kill onto high early on, but this is still a huge advantage. As you can see on the kill feed, it's all Hammers getting those kills, and that's just an easy cleanup. Sneaky, last remaining player, that's 4. He needs to do some damage, but not even that. Only losing 1 player in the process. It's gonna mean that Hammers are gonna sit on the 2-round advantage.
Yeah, finally. I mean, getting that second round. And this is that usual buy on Canals. When you have lost, you can see Nova Esports picking up 4 revolvers and a shotgun. They're
probably going on A.
Oh, elbow, I would guess, yeah. But those revolvers so good on this map, and you can see it's going to be Genesis in a forward position here on elbow. He can do a lot here if they line up for him. High, nade in hand goes down to Genesis.
Yeah, there's a kill with that shotgun, exactly as predicted. Genesis playing an elbow. It's a really hard map to fight those knowing guns, revolvers and shotguns, but Kraken's gonna get that kill into elbow. That's gonna open up the A side. It's only gonna be the sneaky revolver for Kraken. Okay, he's hitting those shots. Easy does it as he gets that 3rd round on the board. It was a bit scary for Hammers Esports at one point. Nova Esports did not manage to win that round. If they did, that would have been perfect. They would have the economy, while Hammers Esports would pretty much be reset.
And now, you can see that the Eurasia duel is going to come into effect. Fishbits on that Eurasia, while Cam picking up as well. And Fishbits wins the duel versus Cam. That is definitely an exciting moment for him. You do not expect that to happen, but Milio's signature position in Cafe.
Yeah, it's still not over. That grenade could finish him off, but just chunk of HP remaining. They are trying to chase him down. He did manage to fall back onto the site. Focus finds Fishbits in the meantime. Milo's gonna get some forward information on B-Long. That's a perfect play coming up from Milo. They're not expecting him, if he's low, they're not expecting him to go that deep behind them, but they do actually expect him to come from there. It's all down to that timing. Blue Eyes should go down, as he does. Milo finds him, and now only Kraken remaining. He's at the A short, gonna be pushing in, but that's gonna be Pocus finding the first round for Nova, and what a play from Milo. That was actually really good for him.
Excellent in Cafe, and he gets a lot of frags on Cafe actually. He's able to control mid, and as we know, on Canals, mid control essential, especially with the way that Hammers Esports play this map. What happens is that on their city side, but on their T side, they're going to focus on mid, make sure they have control of that before deciding what they can do. And usually the ratio is crucial for that. Not in this round. Hammers rushing it through B-Long, all 5 players here.
Oh, they already have the bomb in their hands. Why is Kraken already planning? Look at that. Oh my god, Kraken. Okay, that actually worked. And they do get the bomb plant, and now they're going to be taking positions. But look at Milo getting 2 kills from Cafe. Now High with only pistols should get the kill. He does. Cam goes down. He had the ratio, so they should pick it up. They have the space.
Look at the flank.
Yeah, from
the flank doesn't work out.
But Kraken left alone. Thank God Milo is going to stabilize, and Nova Esports are not going to lose that round. Going to grab that year ratio before defusing. It's got to be Nova Esports. Stayed on 2 rounds.
Yeah, and that year ratio has to be important, but look at this switch in everything. Cam, 0 frags currently. After dropping more than 40?
I think he can drop 0 frags for 10 games straight, and no one would say a word. After that kind of performance on Bureau, I think that's going to be an untied record for a long, long time.
Yeah. Also, we have to remind you that Canals used to be a city-sided map. Last few seasons turned terrorist-sided. But yesterday it was really city-sided when Nova played it, so not sure what to expect here. As the meta evolves, of course, teams adapt and the sides can change. Finally, Cam, first frag through the smoke onto Kraken.
Yeah, onto the cross, finds Kraken, and now a lot of action being seen on that A side. It seems like Hammers have went on top, but what a cost for them. Look at a grenade, just misses God. Every single player is on red HP, and they can be sprayed down so easily, and they do. Cam finds God, and only Blue Eyes remaining. That's an easy job from Sneaky. Went down to a 1-against-1, and you can see how close these rounds are to each other. It all boils down to that 1-against-1 duels. But Hammers are having the better, actually, Nova Esports, excuse me, are managing to pull it out for them.
Exactly. Now, as we get into the next round, what's going to be important for us is that kind of Hammers can buy, but they are really low in economy. You can see that there's smokes missing here. You can see that they don't have much collective money that this new interface provides. Cam getting aggressive, signature Cam. He spotted a player there, but he's not shooting him. Takes out High. What was this?
Despawn bridge, but he's not even phased about it. He wants to kill High. He gets the kill. But still like 3-against-3. Blue Eyes almost open up the A side, but Hammers on top so far, and all down to Milo just like that. My God, I can't even. It's hard to follow all the action. These rounds are so volatile. So many kills being exchanged in a few seconds. All it all comes down to Milo to try and clutch it out. Last time in a 1-against-2, he's not so successful on Bureau. Maybe Canals sees his map. Mem4 in hands, gets the kill onto Kraken. Now one more to be found. Fishbits on site. Ferric peeks at the perfect time while he had his grenade in his hands, and Fishbits does manage to clutch it out. And yet again, a 1-against-1.
Yeah, really nice try coming in from Milio, though. What he did is that from B, he flashed onto A short. When he did that, just drops down to lower catwalk, goes back to CT spawn. But both Hammers players looking A short, they thought he was coming from there. Then again, the mind game's coming into effect. Now only one player on the B side.
That grenade is nasty for Hammers Esports. It did more than 200 damage to all of the players on Hammers. But they still somehow managed to pull away the control onto the B site. And now they're going to be planting the bomb. They have to be careful. They cannot overcommit on one part of the area. Just have to hold strong. High's going to get flashed out. It's a bad flash from Cafe, but he's going to get sprayed down nonetheless. And now Genesis with the grenade onto God. And it's all falling apart for Hammers as they know exactly where High is. And that's going to be an easy cleanup coming from Nova. Even though they lost the B side control, the retake was close to perfect for Nova.
Yeah. Then again, 4-4. You can see that these games seems to be really tight currently. But now Hammers, they're not able to buy up. Fishbit is going to have an AK, but revolvers and 1911s on the rest. Let's see what they can pull off with them. We know that those revolvers are really good, and no ratio on Cam. That's an interesting choice. Recognizing that he's not doing so hot with it, not going to buy it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, someone could have dropped him definitely, but yeah, Cam. He knows that he's not going to force Eurasia every single round. He knows that maybe players are expecting him from Hammers, that he's going to have the Eurasia. So just a change of plans. Look at Melio spraying away with his signature weapon, but not going to get a single kill. Blue Eyes finds him instead. Bit of a cheeky position from Melio, just on top of the car in the middle of the map.
Yep.
Not sure what he really wanted to accomplish there. If he got that kill on the early on, then he might have gotten that double, but it was way too risky for that to happen. Now Genesis and Sneaky left alive for Nova Esports.
The player in CT though.
He's getting the sprays, he has the information. Now they're going to be starting, that grenade actually annihilated Genesis, and Hammers are going to get that round.
Yes, they will, and it was a hard fourth round, but came in with a forged by an AK, a few revolvers, and they're able to steal it away. Now looking at this one, Cam on that gear ratio, Sneaky on an AK. The rest of Nova Esports have nothing on them.
Oh, that's a signature move from Cam, just peeking away T-spawn bridge, but this time he misses. He's gonna get challenged by one of the players. Spots the player, but Sneaky is there to find him off. But look at this, already deep and mid on Kraken pushing down onto Cam. Cam was not expecting someone to be that close. He was maybe hoping that someone was watching the cross, but not gonna be happening. Kraken with a double kill now. And Melio finds fish bits, but it's gonna be Hammers, taking away that A side control from the hands of Nova Esports. And now it's all down to Melio and Sneaky, the players that usually defend B side. Gonna try and retake it. Good stop from Sneaky, good start and good finish potentially. No bullets! And Kraken with a 4K finishes off this round and gets the 6th round on the board for Hammers.
What Nova Esports are doing in these rounds is they're trying to control mid. They send Cam with the ratio from the B side mid-bridge to pick it into T-spawn. Melio stays on the B side while Sneaky goes into lower catwalk. And from there they have two players on A solid there and trying to protect B by having mid control. The thing is that Hammer's so good at using that tunnel down there.
You have to be careful there. He's jumping around, trying to hit the shots, and look at it. Sneaky goes down unchallenged. He did no damage towards Sneaky there, and now Hammers Esports, God finds another frag. What's happening with Nova? No reply. I know they're really good on the C side, but I'm expecting more of a challenge on their best map, but it seems like Hammers have studied. They have done their homework. They know exactly what the Nova Esports is doing, and now all of a sudden, Melio in a 1-against-5 gets the opening onto high, but I do not have a lot of hope for this young guy. Melio, player, has already made a huge name for himself. Definitely the legend of Siop scene, coming out from all the way from Team Phoenix Rain. He's always been in championship titles. Gets the second, should have gotten the second kill, but Kraken stronger in that angle, stronger in that fight. Melio's gonna go down. He did not even want to go try for that 1-against-5, which is a smart choice. You want money, but considering this is gonna be the last round, I don't know, maybe he should have tried a bit more, but then again, 1-against-5, how often do you see that?
Yeah, I mean, 1-against-5, I think we saw it twice or 3 times in really good tournaments.
Those are going to be deadly. I'm sorry, Caesar, but I have to interrupt you because look at this. Fish Bits and Kraken on red HP. Melio anti-flash, but no one flashed in. Kraken just ran into Melio and got an easy frag. Cam gets the double kill. All of the action is on the B site. Focus, the rotation comes in. Blue Ice found Cam finally, and now it's all equal. 3-against-3. Hammers Esports, if they do manage to get the 8th round on the board, that's going to be a huge deal going into the second half.
Blue speaking aggressively though, but there's a player in CT and he recognizes it. Able to get the spray down. Even an aggressive player in Cafe.
Oh no, oh no. Genesis, does he not realize where the player is? What the hell is happening with Genesis? Is he not watching his screen? He knew it, he saw exactly where the player is. I don't know what there is, but you can see that nerves on the Nova Esports side when it comes to Pocus and Sneaky, definitely working for them. You can see that they're not playing to their usual performance. And once you can see the difference, like we said in the beginning. Once Cam or Melio is are not delivering, it's a completely different story for Nova Esports. But okay, we're gonna switch sides. Hammers Esports now on the CT side, while Nova Esports we're gonna be on that T side. And we have seen some of the most amazing comebacks coming up from Nova. They are a map away before going out in the semifinals. They're pushing in, but it's Hammers more successful here. Nova and finally find 2 kills, 2-against-3. Hammers Esports, I would dare to say they have one of the best retakes ever. Melio They know exactly where he is, and now he's stuck in elbow. He needs to get those kills. Finds Fishbits, and now 2 more to be found. They have to kill him before defusing the bomb. You don't have to defuse so early. Melio making a lot of damage. Time is passing away, and Melio is playing this perfectly played. But the defuse is not going to come in, and there's Melio. 1 against 3 in the pistol round, and Nova Esports managed to get some rounds on the board. Melio, if they lost this round, Hammers Esports would need a couple more before winning the series.
Finally, the star power coming in from Cam and Melio, at least 50% of it. Melio clutches out that 1 versus 3. Now Nova Esports have the pistol round. They have a good foundation to win this anti-ecos and come back into this game. Still, they're usually better on the T side on Canals, but look at Genesis, they're running in with that SMG. Takes out High, takes out Cam, also getting 2 each, and nothing will happen.
Just like that, Nova Esports, but such a heartbreaking moment for Hammers. They had everything. There was no need for them to defuse so early. Go on them, go frag them out, just get the kill before defusing. It's 3 of you and only 1 of him. The way when you try to defuse, you're basically eliminating 1 of your players because he's stuck on that defuse. He cannot use his weapon effectively. Emilio just abused that fact, and now it seems like he's the star player. He is the one in the spotlight for Nova Esports, but they need more than that. Hammers Esports are still not over. They have 2-round advantage, they almost won the pistol round. They should not get phased by that. Cam opening up that A site, peeking away, and this should be a kill, but God ready and waiting in the corner behind the truck. Gets Cam. You can see Cam is not able to get those openings, but on the other side, it's Genesis finding that opening on the B side, and Melio as well. Hammers Esports not able to withstand the pressure from Nova.
And one thing that we have to point out is that the way that Hammers are set up, they're going anti-Cam, they're going anti-year ratio, not giving him the peaks he wants. Now they're left in a 2 versus 4 when the rifles come into play, and Genesis takes out God. Blue Eyes 1 versus 3. He has done this before, but not in this round. 8-7. But Hammers, can they fall by after this one? I saw that Fishbits only had a revolver, maybe saving for that year ratio.
Could be, could very well be. I mean, utilizing year ratio on the CT side, it's almost a necessity, to be honest. It's easy to spot information. You can get early frags without any issue. No year ratio coming up from Hammers. They're going to be forcing up once more. You can see 2 revolvers in the hands of Fishbits and Kraken. Blue Eyes doesn't have the Kevlar as well.
And a stack on the A side. 4 players coming in here, but all of them playing positions where they're not going to be picked off by Cam. And it's going to be, I believe that's Fishbits on the B side, who's spotting away. Can he get some information? But Melio, so much mid control, takes out Kraken. Luckily Fishbits with the punish, can pick up an M4.
That was a crucial kill from Fishbits. He had a revolver. If he missed a couple of shots, Melio could have easily just made a mess on that B side since that was a solo player. But Hammer stands strong. The stack works out completely in their favor, and just like that, he managed to grab a round. Hammers Esports only 4 rounds away before winning the series. With Nova Esports, we're not used to see them drop. We're not used to see them not take a single map in a best-of-3 series. They're always huge fighters. They always make the comebacks happen. They always make that scoreline look interesting. But man, it's hard to be in these kind of situations, even if you're Hammers or Nova. But look at Hammers. It seems like they found their confidence, but Cam is going to be fast on that short. Finds a kill on the Blue Eyes. Good opening. Good refrag coming up from Nova. It's going to be God finding Genesis. Cam is going to rush in after reloading, but God is ready and waiting. He reloaded in time, manages to take care of one of the star players. He gets the 3K as well, and everything goes to hell for Nova. This is going to be 3 rounds away and only losing Blue Eyes in the process. I really thought Cam could do a bit more in that kind of a situation.
Maybe should have done a bit more. Then again, can we blame Cam at this point? He has done so much in the last map, and it wasn't enough. Still, one thing that's really, let's call it a signature move from Nova is that they always play close games. These guys can constantly top the group, be undefeated. Every game was a 13-12. Every game was a 13-11. And they are showing it here. They'll have the ability to come back, but they do not have much room for mistakes here.
You can see the flexibility coming out from Nova. Every single round looks completely different from their perspective. They're trying everything, but I think Hammers Esports pretty much have A site locked down. But Nova Esports do certainly look like they're going to try their luck once more. In the previous 2 rounds, they were not so successful. That was a necessary shot from Fishbits, but why would you ever peek such a shot with Melio? Yeah, we've seen some revolver frags. Fishbits unscopes at the Worst timing possible. Cam finds an opening onto high, and now they're trying out, but God has been an absolute God, living up to his name on that A side, and with the help of Blue Eyes and Fishbits all the way from the B side, they're able to stop that push from Nova Esports on the A side.
And Hammers currently, and they're confirming this, they should be the best Canals team in the world. Definitely the best CT-sided Canals team in the world. They're so dynamic, you can never expect what's happening. Although, while missing Shadow, they're not using that double year ratio setup that they used to do. Now it's going to be only Fishbits on that year ratio, maybe a little bit more classic and standard. And again, he's so effective on it. It's weird to see an in-game leader so good at it.
Definitely, yes. And Melio finds one, finds two. They need this round, or otherwise Hammers Esports are going to be sitting on that match point. Blue Eyes finds focus, only down to Melio. Can he redeem himself once more? 1 against 2, but not more than that. As Hammers Esports are missing only one more round before progressing to the grand finals.
Melio, 20 frags, the only positive player on Nova Esports. Can he be the guy to actually pull this one off?
So if they win this match, they secured at least $10,000.
Yep.
And if they win one more, it's going to be 15K in their pockets. Definitely a nice chunk of money to have. But you're going to need a huge pockets for that amount of money. Melio finds Kraken. He's so flexible, but his team is lagging behind. That's the weakness of Nova Esports. Once you don't have your star players performing, it's really hard to close out the rounds. And High finds Genesis, but thank God Cam was there to refrag. Now, 3 against 4. Blue Eyes waiting, ready and waiting. Perfect spot for him. Gets sneaky, but one more player is there. 3-man rotation towards B. One on the CT side. They know it's going to be B side plant. Melio expecting God from CT, and all down to Blue Eyes. He has made this once. He has made this happen on Bureau, but not going to happen on Canals. Now, Nova do manage to live for yet another round.
How much longer will that last? Nova Esports at least now have the money. They don't have to force buy. They can use all the utility that they want. And this seems to be a B take currently. Smoking off mid. 3 players into B long. But Hammers, they're playing pretty stacked onto that B side. 2 players always there, but no one in Cafe. Not challenging mid this time. Fishbits. Melio with a nade.
You have to be careful and be long because that's such a close area. Grenades can be deadly, but Nova are gonna start pushing in. They're not phased by those grenades. They want to get in, but Kraken, look at the nade damage coming up from Hammers. Perfectly placed utility from them. Now the rotation comes in, and the 2 players, it's only gonna be Pokus. The guy did not have a certain match, and now it's gonna be Hammers taking away the victory. That's gonna be a 2-0 in maps. Hammers Esports win the first match, do progress to the finals, and they have secured at least $10,000.
What a performance coming out from Hammers Esports.
Yeah, definitely. That was not Nova we're used to seeing on Canals. We expected a bit more from them, especially on Canals. If they won our Bureau, we would see the 3rd map right now.
What an incredible performance coming out from Hammers there. They are going to win out this series 2-0. And you have to say, that is a devastating defeat coming out there for Novas, especially from the scores on Bureau. That was difficult to watch if you're a Nova fan at home. Let's take a look at our Amazon Fire bracket as we move on with the day. Hammers are going to be moving on forward. If you are a Nova fan at home, do not fret. We will be broadcasting the 3rd place game later on. First, we have to do our other semi-final. The next matchup will be Gangstars up against CSPG. But Hammers, a deserved win there, especially in map number 2. Very consistent play. We were talking about how they were a definite team unit, and you can see that especially on their CT side, just making sure that they were spread out nicely and could rotate appropriately. Let's take a look at some of the replays from that game with our Razer phone replay powered by Qualcomm Snapdragon. We'll be able to have a look at some of the highlights that happened here on Canals.
Yeah, maybe not so many highlights as on Bureau, but I don't think you can top that. So Canals, yeah, both of these teams enjoy playing on Canals. It's one of their favorite maps. But look at this, Kraken just landing in the open. It's 5 against 5. No smokes to cover him. Somehow it works.
Somehow he survives. But definitely it was up to Melio on this map to carry it. He was the guy who was trying to make something happen, trying to make those plays, make those clutches. In the end, it was just not enough. And you could see the nerves on Nova.
Yeah, frustration did come in. This is do or die for Nova. If they lost, and they have lost in the end, they would go out. But Hammers Esports, what a performance from them. What a performance from God on that A site. Completely extinguishing those pushes and hopes from Nova. And a great adaptation coming up from Hammers. Changing the player, getting an extra player on that B site, on the A site, excuse me, was the key factor here.
Yeah, and you have to wonder what happened to Camp between those two maps. You go from, what was it, 42 frags in the first map and then not really present in the second one. But let's take a look at our one more stats here at the end of that one. It was a 2-0 in the end, 25 rounds to 19 and 8 bomb plants to 6. But Hammers, it wasn't so much about how many bombs they planted, it was more about the defense on their side. That's what was really stand out to me across the course of that series. Now, we do have a G Fuel interview standing by, so I'm going to pass it over to Maria Ho to chat to our winners.
Angelo, congratulations. You God-moded a bit. I mean, you definitely put up a really good fight. I know coming in as the 4th seed, I don't know how you guys were feeling about it, but way to perform under pressure.
Thank you.
Do you feel like there was more of a team cohesive effort between you guys?
Oh, definitely. I think that we couldn't have, everything, especially this game, takes teamwork, and everyone holding down their sites and, getting trades and being there for each other.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Cam have a record-setting number of kills for his team, but obviously you carried yours and you guys are on to the next round. What do you guys think about who you guys might be facing?
I think I'll be facing GS because GS has always been like the top team recently for the past like 8 months. They're definitely a really good team and we look at them as our rivals, but we're here to beat them.
All right, well, good luck in the next round. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Maria. And, well, a convincing victory there for Hammers, 2-0 in the end. But if you've been watching these games, seeing the pros and wondering how you can get onto their level, we have a little bit of a video of how they like to play Critical Ops.
So clawing is when you divide your fingers up so that you can spread it out over the big screen, because it's easier to play with 4 fingers than to play with 2, because if you have an iPad, you can put 4 different buttons on the screen. So if you have 4, you can distribute it out and reach them quicker and faster. So it's easier to play like that. If you use a claw, you're definitely gonna be a better player.
Alexa, set timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes, starting now.
Alexa, how many ounces are in a cup?
There are 8 ounces in a cup.
Alexa, dim the lights.
Okay.
Alexa, what's on my calendar today?
You have 3 events scheduled.
Alexa, play Catastrophe.
Here's Catastrophe.
I don't want to get too ripped on day 1.
What's happening with you and Sharon?
Alexa, open Alto's Adventure.
Here's Alto's Adventure.
Frankie fell asleep holding a potato. Little weirdo.
Alexa, pause. Alexa, resume.
Do you want me to make you something?
This is G Fuel. These are the flavors of G Fuel. Sorry, forgot one.
What is G Fuel?
G Fuel is an energy formula.
An energy drink?
Formula.
Formula?
Formula. G Fuel isn't your typical energy drink. This is your brain. This is your brain on G Fuel. G Fuel gives you energy. G Fuel increases your focus. Gross. You know what else is gross? The amount of sugar in other energy drinks. Know what's awesome? The amount of sugar in G Fuel. So that crash you get from drinking other energy drinks never has to happen.
Can I drink G Fuel?
Yes.
Can I drink G Fuel?
Of course.
Can I drink G Fuel?
Sure. G Fuel has vitamins and minerals from 19 different fruits. G Fuel can conveniently be ordered online and delivered right to your door. G Fuel comes in a tub with 40 servings, which means for the price of that $3 can, you can have 40 G Fuels at only about 90 cents per serving. So let's recap. G Fuel has no sugar, is 25 calories, gets delivered right to you for less than 90 cents a serving, has a bunch of flavors, and gives you energy. You should probably check out our website.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Amazon's Mobile Masters 2018 broadcast right here from Seattle, Washington. We're halfway through our Critical Ops action. We've had one semi-final, and it's time to move on into our second matchup of the day. It's time for Gangstars going up against CSPG. Now, Gangstars are going to be coming as one of your North American teams, one of the biggest highlight teams of the entire tournament. They're going up against the mixed team of CSPG. This is going to be an uphill battle for them, but definitely something that they'll make a name for themselves if they can land the upset.
Oh yeah, Gangsters.
Gangstars, like, I feel that it's very welcoming, and I've not experienced that anywhere else. They're like my family, they're like my brothers. It's honestly a blessing to play alongside them.
When we get together in person, it's like have seen a long lost brother in years you haven't seen, and you're just like reuniting.
It all syncs together, and like we just have that synergy in real life. I used to play the drums, and I was drumming one day, and some of my skin peeled off. I actually had like this skin disorder. I couldn't wear short sleeves. I had to wear full clothing. I couldn't play sports anymore because like it would just hurt to catch a ball. I had a hard time making friends at school. You know, they called me things like lizard boy because my skin was really scaly and stuff. You know, I picked up Critical Ops, and you know, I met a lot of people, met a lot of great people in this game. I'm sorry. It's okay. But I realized that people don't care about my physical features, they just care about how I play the game.
I think gaming can connect people on a real level as much as it does in virtual reality. People can come together as a group and as a community and build something that's really inspiring.
I'm still recovering from it. It's mostly gone, but my skin is still dry. I've learned a lot of things, that relationships can make you feel really welcomed or pushed away, and you just have to choose to like associate with people that you know are going to treat you well. Because I met these people in the game, it definitely brought my hopes up, brought my spirits up, mentally made me feel like a better human being.
So Gangstars, kind of the definition of a team unit right there, and supporting each other. And that's what you expect out of a team coming on into this tournament. And let's talk a little bit about Gangstars. You guys obviously know the backstory. For anyone at home who's yet to see these guys play, what is it about Gangstars? What's their style? Who are the major performers here?
Well, the thing about them is that everyone is the major performer. Every single one of these players goes to another team, the best player on that team. And what's different about them, they do not have roles. Everyone can do everything, and they adapt in every single game. That's why it's so hard to dethrone them, so hard to predict.
Yeah, it's always difficult to play against a team that has such star power on their roster. But then they're going to be going up against CSPG, who it's a bit of a mixed team. They're from all different parts of the world. It's going to be difficult to predict what's going to be coming out from these guys.
Yeah, CSPG managed to get through the groups just barely. It really came down to a single round for them to get into the playoffs. Gangsters definitely going into the match as heavy favorites, but we have seen some of the most amazing comebacks and surprises from CSPG. So CSPG is definitely a team that is capable of doing that. But seeing them playing with three substitutes actually, it means that their core lineup is not here, and they're definitely going to struggle with such a well-established team such as Gangsters.
But then the other side of that is when you are a team like CSPG, there is no expectation on these guys' shoulders. They can come in and just play their game, and if things start to go well, that pressure will be on Gangstars. So it can definitely work in their favor. We'll have to see how that's going to pan out. Let's take a look at our one more stats coming on into this game. As you can see, average total kills leaning slightly in favor of Gangstars, a slightly better KD. But generally speaking, it's not too much of a disparity between these two teams.
Statistic-wise, yeah, they're pretty much equal here when it comes to the stats alone. But when it comes to team play, since the stats are not the only determination point, as you saw in the previous match, Cam had 40-something kills, and they still lost the series in the end. So that's something surprising. Gangsters, yeah, I have nothing to say than that they're probably going to win this series.
Yeah, but the thing about CSPG and what maybe the deciding factor here, why they could pull the upset out, They have 2 ex-Gangsters members. Pun, way back when, used to be in Gangsters, used to be actually in-game leading for them. Definitely knows how they work. But even then, MVP, transferring to D2R, now substitute for CSPG, only a couple of months back. He knows how Gangsters work, and they can have that inside knowledge.
So maybe we'll kind of predict some strategies coming out here. Maybe they've got the inside track on what Gangstars will be planning to do. But the preparation will have been strong for Gangstars coming on into this tournament. They knew this was coming. And like we've said before, this is the first offline Critical Ops LAN. So these guys, they know how big of a deal this is. They're going to have been getting ready over the coming weeks. Let's talk a little bit about maps before. In fact, we're ready to jump on into the game. So let's not talk about maps. Let's see the maps. It's going to be Gangstars coming up against CSPG here. Gangstars, North American representatives, one of the tournament favorites, up against CSPG. The mixed team, they've got some super subs in, and we'll see if they have what it takes here. Gangstars, definitely the team to watch out for in this matchup, but CSPG, they want to make this upset happen. Let's jump into this best of 3 and see what CSPG are going to be able to do.
I'm really wondering, it's going to be Legacy. All right, so we're going to see Legacy as our first map of the second match in the semifinals. We have seen Hammers progress to the grand finals, and now they're waiting for the winner of this series. And what do you think? CSPG and Legacy?
CSPG on Legacy. I have some PTSD issues from CSPG on Legacy. They haven't been the best team on Legacy. They haven't been the smartest team on Legacy. But even then, currently it's going to be Pun in-game leading, ex-No Mercy in-game leader. And he also hasn't been that great on Legacy. They have always been shaky. They have excellent matches. They have horrible matches. And versus Gangsters, you have to bring your best, especially on Legacy. This should be map 1 going to Gangsters. Legacy going to be really hard for CSPG to, you know, make it close. Yeah. Not talk about him winning it.
Having Pun in your team is always a great plus. Pun is a guy that can just calm down the team. He has that leadership skills for his players. He knows how to control his players and how to call in. So having Pun might be the saving grace for CSPG, but I think winning against Gangsters, everyone has to be on fire. Everyone has to deliver for CSPG in order to have any chance of winning out this series. But Gangsters, statistically, they should definitely be winning this out. But this is a LAN. This is where you can see the emotions of your players. You can see the emotions of different players. There's so many factors that can influence you that are not existent online. But let's get into the best round. You can see CSPG on D side, and they're already starting to push onto that B side, trying to get rid of Joker, but not able to. Knight finds the first kill, the opening frag, but Despair with the refrag. They know exactly where Pun is, and he gets backstab while he was trying to backstab himself. Now only 1 player remaining. That's going to be Despair. At least he gets the bomb plant in. That's going to mean some extra cash, but it's such a heavy spot. Hard spot, should I say. Not get more than 1 kill. And that's going to be Gangstars winning out the first round.
One thing that we haven't mentioned is that Despair coming in from Learn from Past. But he is also an in-game leader, and he is an excellent Legacy. And he has been the guy that has defeated Pun so many times in the past, so maybe for this map, he's going to be the one giving the input, and he's going to be the one calling, making sure that this goes smoothly for them. But we still have no idea what's happening in that part, and I'm glad to see this. CSPG not forcing up. Some utility so they can try and get into the side, try to get the plan down, but 3 players close to A, even you can call it 4 if you count mid alley.
They're trying their luck with Light Gallery, but it's such a hard site to take. Kingy sprays down through the smoke, gets the kills, and only Spectre and Pun remaining, holding on for their dear life, trying to make as much damage as they can, but it seems like they're not even able to get more than 50 damage on the board. Alpha from behind gets Pun. That's gonna be easy 2 rounds for Gangsters. CSPG, I think they might force up this round, or even get. We're not surprised to see 3-round ecos on Legacy.
Yeah, definitely not, but they will decide to force out, and small advantage for them. Knight still on that MP5, expecting something else, but they're going to be full Carolers coming for him and AKs. And also the thing for CSPG here is that you have to, especially on Legacy, watch out for Pun. Pun, yes, he's the leader, but he's always lurking, always on the other side of the map, and Knight, that MP5 proves useful at that short range.
No one's trying to refrag him, they're so far, but they were waiting for him. Knight did not expect so many players to be present on that glass area, and it seems like CSPG have found an entry to that B site, being successful this far. Lewis just pushes in and gets fragged by Despair. Now Alpha Mid is trying to see the cross if someone's gonna go towards CT. Not the case though, he's down to 8 HP. CSPG have full control of that B site. 2 in glass, that is gonna be peeking out. Kingy on top. One more player there, will Kingy expect him? He does expect him. Some fires have been exchanged, but Despair on the better end gets the kills, and CSPG do manage to write that round on the board. 2-1.
Excellent play coming out from CSPG. First rifle round, and they win it kind of convincingly. 2 players left remaining. Oh, but Joker picks up that year ratio, and Joker has had some insane performances, cam level performances on this map. Not 42 frags, but definitely over 30. And he's so mobile, so flexible, plays around mid alley, but goes and picks glass, goes and picks mid, goes and picks light gallery. You never know where to expect him, and always winning the duel. This is his playground, this is his map, and he's the player you have to isolate, you have to worry about.
A grenade, but almost took care of Alpha. He did manage to fall back in time before that grenade exploded. Joker finds MVP with the year ratio early on. He's gonna take that advantage back to Gangsters as they are in a 4 against 5 now. CSPG playing classic Legacy, trying to get all across the map, trying to find an opening. Ooh, Despair. He was spotted by Joker, but Despair does not realize. Now he moves. And that could have been dangerous for a moment. Trying to scope in, trying to spot the mid alley, but they do get the info in Knight. With that kind of information, it's easy for him to get rid of Despair. Now 5 against 3, and CSPG have done nothing in this round.
And they're waiting around, and this happens to, well, teams that pun leads in Legacy. Oftentimes their terrorist side not the greatest. They can try to make the comeback happen on when they're counter terrorists, and they have made it happen a couple of times. Still, you have to be worried about them. And they're just going to save their AKs at this point. No way to get into the site in time. While 3 AKs, they can probably buy next round, as only MVP and Despair are dead, and they do have some cash on them.
Yeah, time ticking away, and there it is. I mean, CSPG actually saved 3 guns, and Gangsters don't want to chase. They know that they're not perfect with the money situation, and that's a smart call from them, which is going to let them save the guns. They're going to build their economy. Gangsters are in no rush to get those kills. CSPG, on the other hand, are going to scrap up a buy, 4 AKs and 1 P250 in the hands of MVP. So cash-wise, CSPG are not looking too great. That save definitely helped them a lot in this round now. Let's see if they can capitalize. They're gonna get pushed from mid alley. They have to be careful. That's I'm not sure who that is. It's Alpha actually pushing. That's just classic Alpha pushing in deep, getting the kill, and no one on the refrag. You should always have someone or 2 players on the mid alley. But pressure is on the B side. Knight has to play this perfectly. Joker is gonna watch his cross, but 3 players already rotated towards B. And CSPG realize that they're gonna go back, but not without victims. Despair goes down, and you can see CSPG are scared what to do, but Alpha's feeling he gets the double. Ted and MVP go down, and only 1 player remaining. That's gonna be Spectre, hiding away in front of that bar. Finds the revenge onto Alpha. 4 more players, 4 legends from Gangsters. This is never gonna be doable for Spectre.
And finally, you could see early on in the rounds, I mean finally, unfortunately for CSPG, Joker seems to be on his level, getting that pick in mid alley that he so consistently is able to get. Spectre will save that AK, but also one thing that happens with Alpha in general is that he decides to push, and when he's bored he will push something. For every other player in the world, that's a horrible decision. Why are you doing this? You're throwing your life away. For Alpha, gets 3 kills.
Yeah, actually.
At least.
Yeah, exactly. That's what was crazy about Alpha yesterday. Even though they were in a high pressure situation, he was like, I'm just gonna push B long and get 3 kills. Several times in a row, actually. So Alpha, really unpredictable player. Always changes up his positions and always changes up his pushes. They do work out eventually. So currently, Gangsters looking good. Wherever CSPG goes, they're met up with a lot of resistance. Despair and Spectre are the only players that have more than 1 kill on CSPG's side. And CSPG, I think they just concede a lot of map control. They do have players on all parts of the map, but it's just easy to get the favorable trade for Gangsters if you're pushing us too. CSPG, if they lose a player, you do not see that instant refrag that you must have in this kind of tournaments.
Yeah, but I would give them some more time, honestly. Only 5 rounds in. Legacy, such a hard map for the terrorists. Lewis with that nade. Alpha with the push. Oh, what a surprise.
Even harder now when you just get grenaded and then pushed by Alpha. Look at this. How is this guy making it work? No ammo, jumping around, almost gets the P250 out in time to kill Pun, but now Joker has had enough, and this is classic Gangstar's gameplay. They do not want you to wait. Once they get the economy rolling for in their favor, they're gonna start pushing you, and CSPG have to counter-adapt. They have to realize that instantly. From this round, they have to realize that Gangsters are going to be aggressive throughout the whole map. They have to change something. Either go as a unit towards one of the sites, or just be a bit passive before the initial aggression from Gangsters stop.
Yeah, oh, there's a Joker who's close here, or he's going to be Alpha. One of the two is going to be Joker this time, always pushing that. Gets 2 headshots already, trying to get the third, not getting just hit.
Gets the third as well. Can he get the fourth? He immediately, what the hell is happening?
Every single time.
Joker gets 4. He's alone in that position. CSPG, there were 4 players in that same area, and Joker does not get refrag. That's heartbreaking for CSPG, but a huge mistake from them as well. Gangsters are feeling confident, and once they start feeling confident, they are unstoppable.
I mean, Joker does that every time they play Legacy, and no one has figured out how to stop him. No one knows how to stop that. 8-1. The only reason why he doesn't have 16 is because Alpha was bored and pushed mid alley for him once.
Yeah, for CSPG, Joker and Alpha are the devil currently. They have to get rid of the devil somehow. They have to think of a prayer on how to do so.
They need an exorcist at this point. MVP going to get in aggressive here. Joker does not expect this.
That's exactly how we do it. Fight aggression with aggression. MVP is going to reply onto Joker. Finally get that opening, which we have not seen CSPG do in a long time. Kingy and Light. He's still going to hold his ground. He's actually going to advance. He knows that Pancake is low HP. He goes down, and that's going to equalize the situation. 3 against 3 now.
And that was a bomb.
CSPG are not pushing anything. They should reply. They should do something. They cannot just stand around doing nothing.
Oh, that was the bomb dropped. Pun had it in light gallery. You could see CSPG all over the map. That takes out someone. Knight, and do they expect the flank that's going to come in from mid and dark gallery? As the CTs and Ts have switched sides.
Yeah, that's such a weird round, but it seems like the CSPG might actually take their second round. Spare already working his way towards A. Have to be careful. They're not sure where Kingy is. Kingy's just going to be waiting in the middle of everything to see where CSPG might go, but the A is the answer for CSPG, but can Kingy recognize that in time to make this? He's certainly going to go for that clutch. He must, because they have so much money, actually. Kingy, here's what is CSPG doing? Oh, they didn't have the bomb, actually. They had to pick it up. Now they're going to go towards A. I did not even notice that these players did not have the bomb on their back. Kingy knows that it's going to be A site. Did CSPG hear him?
The classic Luca not listening to his co-caster. Then again, it's going to be Kingy trying to get this clutch. One guy A top. Guy into light gallery. Hard angles to take. This is almost impossible in a way unless he can make a 180.
He somehow gets rid of the player on top, which is Despair. It is doable, but this side, such a hard crossfire, and look at a peek, he gets the flick, and he gets almost a second. Despair just, I thought he did more damage than that, but those flicks from Kingy, holy hell.
He almost made it happen, and that's what's so dangerous about Gangsters. Okay, 1 player is left versus 3. You still have to be so careful. You still have to be careful. That star performance coming in of Kingy having a 1 versus 2, making some ridiculous clutches. Still, CSPG pick up the second round, and I would say they need to do more in this half to feel good about this. This is a CT-sided map.
Yeah, Legacy's heavily favored on the CT side. Joker gets the frag through the smoke once more, but MVP is going to be the one getting the refrag through the smoke. Same way as he did Alpha. Finding MVP, that's going to put Gangsters 1 member up. 4 against 3. Alpha is going to be pushing in towards Glass, but there are two players, and even the smoke comes in. So it's going to be really hard for him to get kills through that smoke, or even push through that smoke. It seems like it might be an exit towards B side from CSPG.
The bomb is still at mid though. It's going to be coming in through mid alley, but 3 players are close. 2 on the side, 1 in CT gallery. That takes out Alpha though. Knight has to come up big. They don't expect him. I think it's only going to 1 anchor, not checking this, and Knight gets 1. The second coming in from Lewis. What a play.
Yeah, Knight played this perfectly, just comfortably sitting behind the statue, patient enough to not peek around straight away. He waited for the rotation to come in and then perfectly executed that retake of the B site. But it seems like CSPG have some communication issues. It doesn't seem like they know what to do. It doesn't seem like they have a plan from the beginning, or if they are adapted mid-round. It seems like they don't want to commit early onto the site, and that's what costs them the round.
Could be. I think that there was one communication error. That was that Pan was lurking at the bomb. You know, that they tried to fake, but the fake failed miserably. Now they're going to be doing something more solid. 4 players rushing into A.
Kingi reloading, bomb plant going down. How the hell did Kingi miss so many shots? Despair finds the headshot with 1 bullet. 2 players remaining. It's going to be Spectre and Despair holding off the plant, but it's such a hard spot for them. Only Spectre remaining, 1 against 4. The P250, and I don't think this is ever going to happen. They're spraying away every single angle, and they're not sure where Spectre is. He has been sneaking away for some time, but it's going to be easy for Lewis to end it off. And that's going to place Gangsters on an 8th round. 6-round lead for Gangsters against CSPG, and we only have 2 more rounds in this half. As you said, CSPG need at least a bare minimum of 3 rounds in this half.
Yes, at least 3, 4 would be okay. 5 would be amazing, but 5 out of their reach. Just, physically not possible. Now, what is the plan here? CSPG have tried a lot of different things, none have worked. And Joker hasn't been the force he usually is on Legacy. As soon as they say that, aggressive in mid-alley, he's not done just yet.
You say this is a caster blessing then?
Yeah, the usual one, but Alpha pushing mid, he's bored, he's looking for Ted.
Yeah, Alpha really aggressive. The timing on him, you can never expect him to peek out, but Despair gets the frag and they know exactly where he is. He got rid of Alpha. Man, oh man, you still have to get rid of 3 almost the same players. Joker, Knight, Seal, all of these players are legends, but Despair getting the kills almost on Joker. That would have been interesting if actually Joker went down. Down to 27 HP. Gangsters looking really confident in this series so far.
Yeah, looking really good currently. CSPG have had a few close rounds, but they're not able to get more than 2 rounds on the board. And you can see it's so hard to do that on Legacy no matter what on that terrorist side. But after that, well, we have to see how they perform on the CT side. They have actually made that comeback happen yesterday after switching to the CT side. Maybe they can pull it off.
Change of pace, 3 players already pushing in glass. Fort is going to join them. All 5 are actually going to go towards B, and they're already pushing in. Knight unable to get a single frag while they were transitioning onto the site. Lewis, great grenades onto Joker, but look at this. Alpha just delivering round through round, not giving him a break. And there's Joker as well, and it's all down to Ted. What looked like a perfect round from CSPG. Gangsters are going to have none of it as they do retake with 3 players remaining, and that's going to place them on the 10th round in this half. 10-2 against CSPG. And if you're CSPG, you're going to be worried in this second half.
More than worried, but I think you kind of expected this. You do not expect to win Legacy versus Gangsters. That's just something that doesn't happen for you. CSPG will be more looking forward towards a map like Grounded. Definitely fits and suits their style just a little bit better.
But also Gangsters improved and Grounded immensely.
Yeah.
After on winter season.
Yeah, from autumn into winter.
Yes. So their Grounded is looking really strong. But CSPG are that name you always mention when you mention Grounded. They are the team that I think one of the first teams that started off playing Grounded as their main map. But look at the action going on into this match. 3 against 3. And the odds are even. As you can see, Alpha's low HP. Joker finds Spectre. And now only MVP and Ted trying to retake the situation, trying to defuse the bomb on the B site. But look at the forward play coming up from Joker, taking the control of CT. Maybe a bit too naive for him. But MVP finds the frag, and that's going to be the equalizer. Alpha. He is really low HP. Ted trying to fire off some shots. They're not successful. And they're going to push in, and it's only going to be Seal. Does he realize where he is? The communication, where is it from CSPG? Ted now realizes after getting shot in the back. But look at Alpha, playing this smart, buying time. He's just waiting for the defuse to come in. Alpha is low HP, but is there enough time to defuse?
I don't think so. It's going to be close. I think he was late on the defuse. I think he was reloading and didn't switch the weapon.
He did. No, he did
and that's going to cost him the round. Oh my god. That pistol round, they needed it so badly. It could have been their stepping stone back.
Heartbreaking for CSPG, but Alpha played this perfectly, just buying time. It was all down to Ted to try and hit the shot. He did hit the shot, but But yeah, I think he missed the defuse.
He was reloading and he didn't switch the weapon. You cannot defuse when you reload. And that was the second he needed.
Heartbreaking for CSPG. That's not gonna look good going into this remainder of the match. Only 2 rounds separating Gangsters from winning out this map. Kingy finds Spectre, and that's gonna be an aggressive push from Ted, but punished by Knight. 2 more players on mid, and Lewis is gonna relay a lot of information on that B site. He's gonna say that it's gonna be clear. Only Pun on the CT, but with a pistol. They're not gonna be worried about him.
Yeah, no. Pun. I mean, and Pun and Despair, P250 and Shotgun. Despair is so far away.
Oh, look
Still
at
around mid.
Despair actually gets the kill here.
Okay, that's a start. Lewis still on the side though, and this long range deals versus Pun. No way Pun wins it with a P250. They're just going to save the weapons, allowing Gangsters to go to map point.
10 map points. And if Gangsters have so many points, I don't think it's ever possible. It's usually them coming back from these kind of situations. But I can't just let CSPG out of this map just yet. They have pulled out some of the most miraculous comebacks ever in Critical Ops. 12-2. We're gonna get potentially into the final round of Legacy. Did expect that CSPG is gonna have some issues with Legacy, and it seems like they have a lot.
Yeah,
you have to take in consideration that they do have 3 stand-in players.
Yeah, but
Buckink is the only player that's actually a official stand-in.
Official substitute, Ted on the starting roster, the rest out other teams. The different thing is that CSPG started on the T side and just so hard to play on the T side versus Gangsters. CT could have been better, but Knight with the entry. Lewis with the second, and things are looking grim.
That has to deliver. He needs more than 1 frag here, but they are getting punished. Look at the force coming up from Gangsters. They want to finish this as soon as possible. And it's gonna sound bad, but a welcome breather for that from that first match. Gangsters made it look easy. 12-2, and only Spectre remaining all the way at CT spawn. Smokes deployed, time passing away, and it's just a matter of seconds when he actually does lose the round, or does he? Both players are pretty low HP. He has just hits the shots, has to reload as well, and Knight should not show at all. But play the time, do not allow him to defuse.
Can he defuse even if he starts now?
Yeah, that's
so
it.
little
That's
time
gonna
left.
be good games. It's gonna be Gangsters taking away the victory. It's just some frags going to improve his KD, but Spectre is not gonna have enough time to defuse, which is gonna look easy for Gangsters. 13-2.
What a game coming out from Gangstars there. Utter domination when it comes to that map. And CSPG, unfortunate situation for them. Like we've been saying, they do have substitutes. You know, this is a mixed team coming on in against one of the most well-prepared teams in the entire tournament. So somewhat of an expected result, but it has to be said, you have to commend Gangstars on how clean of a game that this was.
Yeah, they were pretty much having fun, and once they have fun, it's when they get results like this. Yeah, CSPG maybe not prepared for this kind of a team, this kind of a caliber of a team, but Gangsters looking really good. I think they're prepared for the finals. They only have to win 1 more map, so we'll have to see how that goes.
Yeah, still, let's not forget, this was Legacy, this was not CSPG speak. I sincerely hope so. And even after that, they started on the terrorist side, they didn't win the pistol, they lost the pistol by that heartbreaking defuse that had just not enough time, that reload.
Yeah.
When you take everything into
lots and lots of little factors.
Exactly. Yeah. So maybe the next map, I think, should be more competitive. Depends on what it is, but unless it's canals, CSPG are going to have much bigger chance.
All right, we'll see if they can pull themselves back into this series. Let's head over to our Razer phone replay, brought to you guys by Qualcomm Snapdragon.
Yeah,
and I mean, a lot of these clips are going to be Gangstars.
But most likely it's going to be Alpha for most of the time here. We're going to see the replays. But what a performance from Gangsters, really sending a message to every other team that's playing in this tournament that they are still on top. Some players actually said, oh, Gangsters might actually choke in this LAN. But it looks like they're not even having any of it. They're looking really confident, dominating through the competition. Yesterday they had a
close game.
Yeah, a close game, but in the playoffs, 0 issues so far.
Yeah, and also the thing about Gangsters, why people think they might choke. They have so much pressure on them.
Kingy.
Oh,
Kingy
the
getting
mind
in their
games.
head, yeah. Mind games from Kingy, and yeah, the last heartbreaking round for Spectre. He tried his best, but there was just no time.
It was actually a really good round for Spectre. Like,
Yeah.
he got like, what, 3-4 kills in that round? So good effort from him. Too little, too late, unfortunately, though. And I actually want to shout out Despair as well, because Despair, towards the first half of the game, he was the only one on his team that was actually managed to get those frags on the board. He was able to actually do a decent job of keeping his team somewhat in the game, but unfortunately, just wasn't enough to stay competitive there.
Exactly, and I mean, Despair, kind of expected. Out of all of those players, he is the one who plays Legacy. He's the one who in-game leads on Legacy, understands the map perfectly.
Yeah.
You need at least someone else to show up versus Gangsters, all four.
Yeah, similar story to what happened with Nova earlier, right? Where you can have one standout player, but you've got to have a team supporting them.
Yeah, and just to mention that Despair, he came from Learn for Pass, one of the best teams in Asia, actually, next to the second-rated team in Asia. He was the one that was actually putting in the numbers for his team, and you can see that in CSPG. So if they were in their ideal lineup, this would have been completely different. But sadly, that's not the case. Sadly, they have to do what they can, and I just hope that they're going to get into the second map with confidence, and they should not... They have nothing to lose, basically, just like you said in the beginning. So no pressure on them whatsoever.
And this is Legacy. Let's give them some leeway here. Let's see what CSPG can do in map 2.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see what the second map will be. You mentioned earlier that Gangstar's definitely favoring Canals if that does come on through. Let's assume that Canals comes on through here. What does CSPG have to do to have a chance on that map? Like, do they just need to win the pistol, maybe get CT side, or like?
I don't think it comes to Canals. I believe that this was the pick. Legacy was Gangsters' pick. I believe that CSPG banned Canals. That makes perfect sense to me. The second map should be Grounded or Bureau at this point. I doubt they're going to play Plaza, because Gangster's pretty good on that map. Grounded should be the one where every single player from CSPG is good in every team that they play. That should be their starting
That's the obvious pick, yeah. Grounded definitely should be the obvious pick here for CSPG. They have surprised countless, I would say. They were the underdogs, and they surprised a lot of times, and that was on Grounded.
Well, they are the underdogs here, and I've just had it confirmed in my ear that it is going to be Grounded for the next map. So CSPG, despite having a very rough first map in this series, they're going to be going a little bit more into their comfort zone. So potentially this is the opportunity to upset. So talk to me a little bit about Grounded. What is it about this map that means that CSPG have their chance, and what is it they need to achieve on this map here?
So on two main factors, actually three. Pan, excellent in-game leader on Grounded. We can get that out of the way. Secondly, two excellent ratio players on Grounded, MVP and Despair. Despair holding B halls, MVP just a little bit more aggressive towards other parts of the map. And thirdly, on the terrorist side, Pan and the Lurker, so effective.
All right, we'll see if they're going to be able to execute their strategies. It's time to jump onto Grounded, though, and start this game off. It's 1-0 so far to Gangstars, but it's time for CSPG to try and take them on.
You can see straight off the bat, Gangsters not going to slow down from the previous map, which was Legacy, and such a one-sided match. Gangsters managed to win it out, and now we are down to Grounded. Definitely CSPG's pick, one of their favorite maps, and let's see what can they do in this retake. Gangsters already controlling the site, but we have seen CSPG retaking this kind of a situation countless of times. Kingy starting off with a grenade, MVP goes down, Joker in a good spot, gets the headshot up to Despair, and there's Alpha and Kingy, and everything goes to flames for CSPG.
Yeah, that did not end well. They tried to push security, tried to take control of A mid, while Gangsters rushed luggage, planted the bomb. Not much going for them. But CSPG, at least, you know, the normal lineup, likes to force up the second round. They like to get a couple of pistols, a few shotguns in, go for those close range angles in B halls or in front of luggage. So that may be the call for them, but opting for 1-19-11 and full eco, pushing into security once more, and no one's looking that way.
Oh my god, there's so many players really close to each other. I don't know if they heard him actually push in through that, through security, and they're already on the B side. Okay, Gangsters just went towards the B side. They got control after losing one player, but this could be ugly for Gangsters if they do not turn around at the correct timing. But it seems like they are aware of the possibilities since some shots have been ringed off, and now Kingy finds Spectre. MVP in a bad spot, but his teammates are going to self him out. It's going to be Ted finding Kingy. Now 3 against 3, actually. A lot of damage being done by CSPG, but this should be a round for Gangsters nonetheless, since they do have that dominant firepower. They do have the guns, and just like expected, Gangsters are going to be stabilizing. Do manage to get that second round. And just to mention, yesterday we said that CSPG did not play the usual style, which is expected. You cannot play the same style if you change more than half of your roster for this tournament.
Yeah, exactly. Although they keep some parts of it, like their city setup is kind of similar in that way, still, it's going to be a little bit different. You have Despair coming as another in-game leader to give you some help. The action already going on. MVP, the A anchor, only gets one though, has to do more. But the rotation quick coming in, right into King Ace crosshair.
Yeah, King getting the double kill, and this is going to be a buy for CSPG. They're struggling to get the kills on the board. They do get rid of Knight, as I predicted actually, I think, can put up the most numbers, but then again, you have such legends on that lineup that whoever you say can get that 30 bomb on the board. Kingy finds Ted, that's his third kill now, and he's just single-handedly dismantling CSPG in this round. 2 more players to be found, but there's the reply coming up from CSPG, only Despair remaining. Knows where Lewis is, but getting pushed from both sides. Actually, both players pushing in. Smart choice from Gangstars. Get rid of the threat early on, and that's going to place them on a 3-round lead. CSPG are not looking good economy-wise, but they're still going to opt out to force out.
They have to. They rely on this city side. This is where they made the comeback versus Vision happen yesterday. This is where they can actually make this happen. But currently, losing 3 rounds, and they have decided not to lose anymore.
Oh,
Knight on the Euratio.
Oh, you have to be careful. Despair is in the corner, gets the easy frag onto Alpha. He might get the kill, but Knight no-scopes Despair. And that's heartbreaking for Despair. Should have expected a kill with the shotgun, but look at Gangsters. Just CSPG are crumbling down under the pressure.
Bullets.
Have to reload, Joker. You're not having limited ammo. Red HP on Joker. Knight now on yellow. 50 HP on him. Spectre. Good hold from CSPG so far. They have a decent chance of actually taking this round away from Gangsters. But Gangsters do have a lot of time to work with. 58 seconds remaining.
And it's all about that mistake. If someone goes into nice crosshair, if he can get a scope into someone, a kill with that ratio, much harder for the remaining player. But Ted and Spectre, those are some big names.
If he peeked out a bit earlier, Knight here, could have gotten a crossing frag. But they're gonna stand strong. They're gonna wait for them. Oh, she spots the player. Doesn't get the kill. He gets the kill. How does Ted not kill that? Knight was low HP, and now it's all down to Spectre. 1 against 2. They're gonna be crossing on the side. This is where Spectre could get some frags. Good grenade. Get him down to 72, spraying down. And still no frags. Look at the amount of HP on the side of Gangsters. Joker.
There's the bomb down. No time to plant anymore. He only has to survive.
Great stuff from Spectre. Exactly what they needed. And Spectre, I mean, yeah, both of the players from Gangsters were low HP, but that almost went into the favor of Gangsters. CSPG do manage to get that first round on the board.
That was way too close for comfort. CSPG, you won a round, but you had to fight for it. You had to pull out everything you had. Still, it was a force buy. Now that they have full rifles, Gangsters will be testing that A site once more. And this time, 2 players close to the side. One pushing in aggressively, punished by Kinge.
Look at Knight. He's just rushing like he has an SMG, not a Euratio. He just goes into their face, and he is really forward with his Spectre, confused on where actually the Gangsters are coming from. And he gets the 1 single kill before going down to Alpha. And Gangsters once again taking control of the site. It's all up to the CSPG players to try and retake, but look at Joker up and personal here for 2 CSPG, and now it's only going to be Despair remaining as the last player for CSPG to try and do something, but it seems like, judging from his movement, he's either going to reapproach from connector or he's going to be saving the gun.
Yeah, not much he can do here probably. Gangsters have excellent after plan positions. And you can see that they know where he is, kind of. No one is watching luggage. So they know he's not in T-spawn.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, Despair going for the exit. Not much more he has to do. CSPG are going to be reset.
Yeah, grounded being such a huge map, it's really easy to expect a player from the position unless he really just runs with a knife in his hands towards, I don't know, like security, or should I say luggage. But that's not a possibility for Despair. The bomb is planted, a lot of time has passed. So that clutch, smart choice to actually save the gun. It is heartbreaking. You are fully reset with the economy since they have won the round and then lost the follow-up. So that means their economy is not going to look too good. CSPG do scramble for a buy. AK in hands, in the spare hands, and Spectre with a shotgun, but goes down immediately. That was a bit naive coming up from him. No grenades to stop Gangsters, and already they are making their way towards A.
MVP trying to get that shot with the revolver. Two players are low, but Spectre and MVP only able to get them low. Now Alpha's getting bored. Alpha's pushing in. Two players from Luggage. Knight with the nade. Pulling out the pizza 50 as he has the erasure, and Ted punishes, but not for long.
Stabilized by Alpha and Joker. 1 against 2, Despair. A player that has clutched so many situations, can he do it again? And I don't know why Lewis is getting a grenade in his hands, and now he knows exactly where both of these players are. Despair is not going to check his corner. He's not sure where actually the second player is. And now he has to go back. No time to defuse. He has to survive. 1 HP. And that's going to be Alpha. Getting him on the way out. So that's going to be Gangsters actually 5-1. 4-round difference between the teams. And you would actually expect CSPG on the CT side to actually excel.
Yeah. And now looking at this, as they have only been able to get 1 round, that was such a close round. It required Spectre to kill the bomb planter in the nick of time. This is not looking good, and that B execute at least, taking a B mid coming in. Spectre with that shotgun in B halls, but Ted has 1 frag at least.
I guess the frag onto Alpha, good start of a round for CSPG. But Lewis is gonna say no, we just want the frags back, and they do manage to get the spare. One of the key players for CSPG, Spectre just barely getting his head out alive from security, but he's still under pressure. Kingy right behind. Spectre did not even fire a shot with that shotgun. He had to go back, but Gangsters way too fast for him to get to allow him to get to safety. Oh, what a shot from MVP. On Knight just gets annihilated from that distance. Headshot from him, and that's gonna stabilize the round for a moment. Gets the second one. There's MVP we're used to. Only 2 remaining players from Gangstars. Ratio in hands from Knight, and he's just having fun, but misses a lot of shots. Oh, that's actually Lewis. Excuse me. And Kingy now in a 1 against 2.
Kingy can be a proficient clutcher, has to pick up the bomb first, and CSPG know exactly where he is, exactly how he's going to approach this, especially now.
He's actually going to try to, you have to make the decision right now. Bond really close, does get the shots in, but only 14 seconds remaining. Thank God for CSPG that Ted was just holding on to his ground, did not rotate whatsoever, and that's going to be CSPG taking the second round.
Kingy actually on top here, but one thing that's puzzling for me, even though Gangsters are winning, is that Joker is not on that ratio. There's so many highlight reels of him pushing B holes, getting like 4 frags with that ratio, and just opening up that B site. That isn't happening. First Knight on that ratio, then it's Lewis. Joker keeping to that AK. Definitely a change. Not sure if it's a welcome one though.
Joker probing the defense on B long. Rotation coming in, 4-man stack towards B. Well, 1 player is going to be just holding down the flank in case someone from CSPG does manage to push. Spare saw a lot of players, he's patient enough. He knows that they're going to be pre-fragging the angle. Now he relayed a lot of information towards his teammates that a lot of Gangster members are actually making their way towards B long, but that's not going to be the case. Gangsters actually on top. 3 kills in their favor. Only MVP and Spectre remaining. Just look at the dominance coming up from Gangsters. It's only Spectre now. Low HP, 7 HP. The smartest thing to do here is to try and save.
7 health, has made the clutch happen once before, but that time was on his side, and in a few seconds it's not going to be as Joker plants the bomb on the B side. I sincerely hope so. Yeah, finally he's going to get the plant. Inspector trying to go for at least a few exit frags, but 6-2 is going to be the scoreline. That's not a flattering scoreline for CSPG. They needed more on the city side, and even if they get 6-6, it's still going to be hard.
Yeah, exactly. So you were expecting CSPG, their kind of a key moment is on that CT side. That's where they get the majority of the rounds, and they also struggle on the C side a lot of times. Maybe not with this lineup, but with their usual lineup, the CT side is where they excel. That's where they get 9, 10 rounds. Then they just crap 3 rounds on the T side, and that's basically them winning.
If you're so good on the CT side, you only need to get a couple of the T side. Like, get lucky for them in a way. You know, you have good enough players who can make those clutches happen, steal away rounds that you're not supposed to be able to win. 6-2 now, and CSPG are going to buy up, but they're not going to buy up much. They don't have the money for it.
Yeah, you can see on top of your on top of the player names on the right and the left, you can see the current economy of the team. You can see the difference: 13k on Gangsters and 2.2k in CSPG, which makes sense because they're barely scrapping up those buys. You see SMGs, revolvers, pistols, AKs. And that's not enough to just stop Gangsters. You need more than that. If you could buy a nuke, I don't know if that would be enough.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. MVP pushed out B halls, gets punished. Dead falls to King as Spectre. He's close on the side, unable to do anything. CSPG just giving away entry frags. Despair finally tries to be a hero.
This is not looking good if you're a CSPG player or actually a CSPG fan. And I'm sure there's a lot of fans for CSPG, but they're not looking good on one of their favorite maps. Maybe a miracle happens in the second half. I'm not too hopeful. Gangsters just look way too good in this kind of a match. This is where they excel. They have, of course, they have a lot of pressure because they are the favorites. And as a favorite, you always have a lot of pressure on you. But it seems like they turned that pressure into a fuel, and they're using that fuel to just dominate over CSPG. Yep. Push coming in from Kingy. Gets Despair. That's going to be exchange of frags from both of these sides. Now 3 against 2, make it 2 against 3 in favor of CSPG as MVP gets the frag on Alpha. Kingy is aggressive, no bullets in hand, but he's going to switch out to the pit to 50, but Spectre close enough to refrag, and now in a 1 against 1. Spectre against Lewis.
And Lewis would have this favorable position if only he had the bomb. Now they spot each other, all up to the AMDO.
Gonna be repositioning. Oh, that's great. Spectre repositioning time. I'm not sure if... Oh, he does expect the cross. But I think Spectre is in a much better spot. Just taps away on the head.
I mean, Lewis
he did not even he did not even have to aim, but Lewis has actually taken in consideration. Maybe he spotted him, maybe someone of his teammates spotted him and called it for him. But yeah, it seems like he was aware of that possibility.
Yeah, and now Kingy, 16 and 8. Killed that ratio of 2. Definitely has been a force on grounded. Usually, we all know he's an excellent player, but he usually lets other members go in the spotlight. Now that's not going to be the case. Spun, peeks out aggressively. He has been doing this often.
Oh, the grenade.
Went nades, just a little bit of punish. If they CSPG get 2 more rounds, this is maybe doable. Spectre and dead, clean out A mid.
Good play from Spectre. Ready and waiting, patient waiting coming up from him. Does manage to capitalize. Gets 1 kill with a help, and 2 kills actually with the help of Ted. Joker, he is in the A site with Knight. But they do not have the bomb on their back. So 4 more players, they might get some frags, but I think CSPG might be aware where the bomb is. At least I see 1 player actually looking at the bomb, so they should be aware of the bomb position. Yeah, Despair there, misses the shot, but Joker is the one not missing. Gets the instant hit shot. It's gonna open up around a bit for Gangsters. 37 seconds remaining in this round. They have to get the bomb planted before 4 seconds. So if you take away 4 seconds, you get 26, 5, 4. So
I get that you're not able to calculate something that's running down and changing.
I forgot my calculator at home, so I do apologize. Joker, 1 against 2, now 17 seconds remaining. 2 players, MVP and Ted should never allow this plan to happen. I think B site is the hardest part of the map to plant in any other map. And now Joker, 29 HP, 5 seconds remaining, that's gonna be it. Joker, no time to plan, he goes down to Ted. And CSPG do manage to grab their 4th round. If they get to 5th, win the next pistol round,
there's a chance.
There's a chance.
Theoretically, there's a chance.
There's always
possibly there's a chance. It's a slim chance though, especially versus Gangsters, especially as they switch to that CT side. One thing I'm worried about just a little bit, other than Kingy, no one from Gangsters really performing that well. They're doing solidly, they're doing okay. No one has having a bad game.
Yeah, Alpha's been quiet a bit.
Yeah.
Knight showing up, and Kingy especially.
King is the hero here.
Showing up for a couple of rounds. Now AK in hands, punt is the saving grace potentially for CSPG, but a wide peak is not gonna do much. Only 1 frag, quickly exchanged by Alpha. MVP through the smoke, I think. Spray them down, yeah. That's through boxes. Now 4 against 3 in favor of CSPG.
Will Gangsters be able to plant the bomb? Not just yet, as they have taken control of A mid, but that doesn't give you any bomb site. Leaving 1 player there. as they try to figure out what their plan is going to be. Lewis, this is a peculiar angle to pick with that shotgun. He's going to even peek out and gets punished for it, of course. Now 2 players in A mid.
Oh, they have to be careful. I mean, CSPG, if they lose this, I would be really surprised. Spectre peeking out, there's no need for you to go that much into the site. If you're the last remaining player on the site, there's no need for you to push in. Just hold the site. There's no time for them to work with. And this allowed Gangsters to potentially clutch out this round. 3 against 3, this is still, keep in mind, a heavily favored round for CSPG. But Spectre made it possible for Gangsters.
Yeah, and that's the wrong team to make it possible for. Kingy takes out dead, MVP luckily onto Joker, but Kingy going for that 1 versus 3 clutch. Only Despair left, and Despair has been the main performer for CSPG so far.
Kingy changed the position. He's expecting him though. Gets the shot and that's it. Kingy has clutched the round. No, he knows Despair has no time to defuse, but he's still gonna be chasing the round. Kingy, is he gonna be deciding to go for it? He will. Gets the kill, but no time. Despair, Kingy played this absolutely perfect, but what it was all an avalanche. Spectre, he's the last player on the site. You can never leave a site if you're the last player. You should just be camping around close to the site, not even in the site. Just, you have the information. Guys, they're going towards A. There's only 2 of them. There's 4 of us. Statistically, you should be winning that round 90% of the times. But Spectre made it much more likely for Gangsters to win it out once he started pushing boxes.
Exactly. CSPG rushing into the A side, but 4 players stuck on the A side. This is going to be a bloodbath, currently in the favor of Gangsters.
Yeah, they get the favorable trade. Joker missing the shot. It's his revolver. It's not really good for close quarters, but not gonna matter. King and Alpha, only Pancake remaining as he goes down, and that's just an absolute nightmare for Gangsters. They needed this round, CSPG, in order to have any chance of coming back, but seeing Gangsters close to that 10th round, and then only 3 more before winning the whole series, and then gonna go progressing to the finals, which they're gonna be playing against Hammers as the next match. But man, Gangsters look really scary right now.
Yes, they do. And again, CSPG smart choice, forcing it up. At least somehow, some utility, some revolvers, 2 players on the side. Alpha pushing out, Kingy to push out as well. Despair not looking his way, no refrag ready. Ted at least gets Kingy. You're still at a man disadvantage. The rotation coming in, bomb dropped, and everything falling apart.
Really a lot of action going on towards A, but it's Gangsters again on top. It is 2 against 3. 2 players are quite low on Gangster's side, so they catch him off guard, but not gonna be the case. Only Spectre remaining now with the revolver. I do not see this happening. Maybe if he finds Lewis early on, but look at Joker just pushing from behind. And Gangsters want to finish this as soon as possible. 10-4, and 6 rounds difference from both of these teams. I don't know what your expectation was. I always wanted CSPG to prove themselves on the LAN, but they never had the ideal lineup to do that.
Yeah, it's sad to see CSPG. Again, getting out of the groups should be an accomplishment for them. Getting invited should be an accomplishment.
Getting to a top 4 spot in the most important event. Mobile Masters 100K prize pool, and they're gonna have a piece of it. So CSPG can definitely be proud that they come to this. And we're already speaking, or I'm already speaking like they have lost. But let's be real. Coming back against Gangsters with a six round deficit is near to impossible. Even for CSPG.
Yeah, should be near to impossible. You can see that they switched the playstyle a bit. Looking for those picks and MVP. No refrag ready, pushing in alone. I can only imagine that Despair is not going to be happy. Maybe he's not vocal about it, but his team plays so differently from this. Spectre at least makes this at 4 versus 3, but almost no coordination. At least they're winning the aim duels.
They are, but I think it's just Gangsters kind of practicing the aim for the finals. They want to take those duels, and they are getting coming out on top. Spectre does equalize the situation now. It's going to be 2 against 2. Seems like Pun is going to be making his way behind. It's going to be Alpha taking the better end of this story. Only Spectre remaining for I don't know how many times already. We have seen this player being in a clutch situation so many times. He's going to be able to plant the bomb with only 9 seconds remaining. But the players from Gangsters are really close to him. Alpha and Lewis. Oh my god, what was that for Spectre? Are you kidding me?
We know he doesn't wall hack. He's on LAN. We can see his device. But you do not need...
That was crazy coming out for Spectre, but not gonna matter. I have never seen that wallbang work so efficiently.
I have seen people try.
That angle as
Yeah,
well.
they just try, but no one, I haven't seen anyone pull it off that efficiently, just a headshot. And that poor Gangsters player. It's not going to be enough. Ted leading the charge for CSPG, but no one really lagging behind. But it's obviously not enough. 11 to 4. And CSPG running out of chances.
2 more rounds before Gangsters progress to the finals. CSPG not looking good so far. They have not, flash good on Joker. They have not actually convinced me that they can make it to the finals. Alpha rotating through boxes, but look at the CSPG side there. 4 players are stacked towards B long. One is waiting for the flank to happen, and you can see the Gangsters have slowed down a bit. So every single round is a mystery for CSPG. A mystery needs solving, and it's gonna be Ted finding Kingy, and now he's going to be progressing to B long, but he's pretty low HP. He has to be careful with that jumping. This pun, that was a perfect bait actually coming in from CSPG. Pun managed to capitalize, Knight goes down, and that's going to be so far so good for CSPG, but they need to find 3 more players.
Still, only 2 players remaining for Gangsters, but Alpha really low. Again, you have to admire, they have the positional advantage. Although Pun, always on that lurk. Alpha's really close. This may actually work out. The bomb rotating into A. Alpha rotating as well. Oh, Pun, you're just going to get punished. Alpha takes out Ted.
Now he's going to be repositioning, getting deeper into the site, but no one is going there. Why are there... Oh, I think he spotted him from behind. Lewis gets the frag onto Pun. Pun tried to lurk away, and now it's only going to be 1 player remaining. That's going to be Despair. Coming all the way from Japan. Does find the first frag. Now 1 against 1, but look at Lewis, so close to him. 1 second remaining, gets the bomb plant. He thought he's gonna be faking out, but not gonna matter a lot. The only thing that's positive in this round, they're gonna get the extra cash. But the Gangsters, sitting on 12 round, not gonna care 1 bit.
This is match point for Gangsters. Kingy, 24 frags. Definitely the guy who showed up for Grounded, showed up for this map. When no one else in Gangsters will, you always know that Kingy will be the guy to step up.
Yeah, and every single player can do so. You can see that Gangsters are definitely, they are consistent of star players, but they are not like Nova when you are actually relying on those star players, since every single player is the star player.
Ooh.
And Knight getting to Joker, and just like that, Gangsters mop up CSPG, and they do manage to get a ticket to those grand finals. 13-4, and a pretty one-sided match. Yet again, 2-0 series, but not even the same way as it was with Nova.
What an absolutely fantastic round to end that on as well. Just obliteration on a singular point. And Gangstars are going to walk away with a 2-0 victory there. Convincing stuff from them. And, you know, coming into this tournament, CSPG were definitely the underdogs, so they should go home with their heads held high here. Let's take a look at our Amazon Fire bracket at the end of our second semi-final. Now, I do have a little bit of an update for you guys, because we're going to have Hammers Esports versus Gangstars as our final later on, but we've changed things around just a little bit here because we figured Vision Gaming and Set to Destroy, they've come a long way to be here. So we're going to have an exhibition show match between them coming up next. That's going to be Gun Game, and it's going to be a best of 1. It's going to be a lot of fun, so keep your eyes peeled for that later on down the line. That'll be the next game that's coming to your screens. But let's break down what happened in this series between Gangstars and CSPG, because that was obviously a convincing win for Gangstars, and I think it was expected that that should be the case. But what is it about Gangstars that makes them as convincing as this? What was it about them that was so difficult for CSPG to deal with?
Well, the thing about Gangsters and why it's so hard to defeat them is that everyone can do everything. When you're able to deny Joker and Alpha from exploding, suddenly Kingy, he's going to be the guy who explodes. He's going to be the guy who makes everything happen. And round to round, that's how they work out. And on top of that, they add on that team play. They know each other so well. They know exactly how someone's going to react.
They've always got each other's backs as well. That's always such a huge factor as a team. Let's take a look at some of our Razer phone replays for this game, powered by Qualcomm Snapdragon. And I mean, once again, this is going to be kind of a highlight reel for the Gangstars.
Oh yeah, it's all the Gangsters here that made those plays. Maybe Spectre had us for several kills. We're actually watching it right now. He played it smart. Going away at the time, just playing the time. There's no need for him to fight the night. And I actually thought CSPG might get a few rounds after that play, but it seems like Gangsters just wanted to finish this off. They know exactly what's going on. I think CSPG really missed structure, which makes sense. They missed a lot of their key players in on this map. Burns, for example, that was the key player on that B side. And CSPG, the masterminds of Grounded, and Gangsters who have improved Grounded, looked really dominating. I think it was just a pure out aim brawl here from two of these teams, and it was Gangsters that have that dominating aim. CSPG's was the team. They had great aimers, but they had even better tactics and better setups, better crossfires. That's what kind of got them the wins.
Yeah, and in the end, what it came down to is that, okay, Legacy stomp for Gangsters expected. CSPG, only 4 rounds and Grounded. You expect more from them, even with this lineup. Meaning that if I was Hammers, I would not be happy. I would be afraid.
I mean, going into the match, Hammers, they're looking good. So Gangsters also should be a bit worried. But after that, for performance, they're full of confidence.
Yeah, I'm excited for that grand final later on. Let's take a look at our stats coming out from that one. 11 bomb plants for Gangstars and 25 rounds won for them. And managing
6 rounds for CSPG.
Yeah, so managing to, oh yeah, I suppose 26. Yeah. But only 6 for the side of CSPG. Let's head down to the stage though, because we have a G Fuel winners interview with Maria Ho. She's got Alpha standing by.
Alpha, you guys always show up and execute. Do you feel like this went about as well as can be expected?
Definitely. Like, we didn't really prepare for CSPG. Because last night we were going for the VODs for Hammers Gaming because we knew that they were going to win. And we're just like prepping. We thought CSPG, because we scrummed them in the lobby earlier and it was pretty easy. So we were like going in with our heads up. That's why we were laughing on stage.
All right, well, before the match started, we actually, watched you kind of talk about the support and the acceptance that you're getting from your team and also just the gaming community as a whole. What do you think makes you guys just so friendly and so open?
I think it's because every single one of us has like experienced something like I did, and that way like we can all connect with each other, and that makes us like have more of a family bond, and it's sometimes that can even be stronger than like in real life relationships. Like I have friends, but these guys, they're like sometimes on a whole nother level because I play with them on a daily basis, so it's great.
All right, very well put, and it looks like you guys are going to be ready for Hammers, so good luck in the championship match.
Yeah, all right, thank you.
Thanks.
All right, so we'll see how they're going to be able to perform when it gets to that championship match against Hammers later on today. But what else is coming later on today will be Survival Arena. Now, you guys watching right now, you're obviously fans of strategy. We're going to be having some strategy coming up. Let's take a look at our bracket for Survival Arena. It's a 1 versus 1 tower defense game. So PvP tower defense, it's yet to be seen, and we're bringing it to esports. We've got our bracket here of all 8 of our players. This will be single elimination. So, no second chances for these guys. They have to make it on through to the final without a single loss. But that'll be coming up later on today. We've got our exhibition match and our final for Critical Ops as well. But we're going to jump into a quick break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with our show match.
I love Razer because I've been using their products since the beginning of time. I remember back in CS 1.5, Dota 1, all that stuff, I actually used the Razer Diamondback mouse. I didn't realize I needed a gaming phone until I held the Razer phone in my hand. It's got really good refresh rate for the screen, it's got really good battery life so I can play all day, and it's got really good speakers. Mobile gaming is exploding right now, especially when you're starting to see high quality titles like PUBG and Fortnite ported onto mobile. To be able to bring that experience anywhere, especially when I'm sitting in a bus stop, I'm fully immersed in that. And I love how it was designed for gamers, by gamers. It just makes so much sense because it's in their DNA.
Time to smash.
This is G Fuel. These are the flavors of G Fuel. Sorry, forgot one.
What is G Fuel?
G Fuel is an energy formula.
An energy drink?
Formula.
Formula?
Formula. G Fuel isn't your typical energy drink. This is your brain. This is your brain on G Fuel. G Fuel gives you energy. G Fuel increases your focus. Gross. You know what else is gross? The amount of sugar in other energy drinks. Know what's awesome? The amount of sugar in G Fuel. So that crash you get from drinking other energy drinks never has to happen.
Can I drink G Fuel?
Yes?
Can I drink G Fuel?
Of course.
Can I drink G Fuel?
Sure. G Fuel has vitamins and minerals from 19 different fruits. G Fuel can conveniently be ordered online and delivered right to your door. G Fuel comes in a tub with 40 servings, which means for the price of that $3 can, you can have 40 G Fuels at only about 90 cents per serving. So let's recap. G Fuel has no sugar, is 25 calories, gets delivered right to you for less than 90 cents a serving, has a bunch of flavors, and gives you energy. You should probably check out our website.
Alexa, set timer for 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Starting now.
Alexa, how many ounces are in a cup?
There are 8 ounces in a cup.
Alexa, dim the lights.
Okay.
Alexa, what's on my calendar today?
You have 3 events scheduled.
Alexa, play Catastrophe.
Here's Catastrophe.
I don't want to get too ripped on day one.
What's happening with you and Sharon?
Alexa, open Alto's Adventure.
Here's Alto's Adventure.
Frankie fell asleep holding a potato. Little weirdo.
Alexa, pause. Alexa, resume.
Do you want me to make you something?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Amazon's Mobile Masters 2018. We're here in Seattle, Washington, and there's been mobile esports action happening all over this weekend. We're about to jump back into Critical Ops, though, so let's take a look at our Amazon Fire bracket as we move on with today. Now, later on, we're going to be jumping into our grand final, which will be Hammers Esports versus Gangstars. But for now, we have a bit of a show match for you guys. We're going to have an exhibition match between Vision Gaming and Set to Destroy. Before we jump into the game, though, I'm going to pass it over to the stage where we have a G Fuel interview with Maria Ho.
Since placing second in the 2017 Championship Series, how have you guys grown as a team?
Well, we've definitely grown as a friends, at least, so the team chemistry is there. It's just like individual skill needs to improve more, and that's what me as an individual I'm working on more. And overall, it's just like we had a close group of friends. Like, we're very close. It's just it doesn't show in the game as much as we want to, and that's what we need to work on more. So yeah.
Well, this exhibition match is a little bit unexpected for you guys, but it is going to be gun game, so it will be a little bit more individual focused today. So you guys ready?
Yeah, we're definitely ready, because individual it's fine, completely fine.
All right, we'll have fun out there.
All right, thank you.
All right, so it is going to be gun game for this one. So let's talk a little bit about that. For anyone at home that doesn't know what gun game is, it's kind of more of a fun game type, less competitive, less serious, but also more opportunity to individually shine here.
Of course. I mean, for anyone who doesn't know how it works, gun game, you start with a weapon. When you get a kill, you get a second one. The point is to be the first in to get a player to the knife and get that knife kill going. So a lot more casual, definitely. And, you know, looking at how SCDX and Vision played, maybe not having and needing those intense tactics can help them out.
So who do you expect, actually, to get that knife kill? I hope it's not bad. He was too nice in that interview, to be honest. He needs some confidence, actually, to get that knife kill.
Yeah, that's maybe true. I know Bates usually isn't at least that nice, at least not to us. But then again, I think we know who we are cheering for.
All right, so let's talk about the two teams that are on the stage, actually. So what is it about these two teams that, or What happened yesterday? Why is it that it's these two teams in 5th and 6th here?
We had a really detailed talk with the Set to Destroy members, and it seems like whatever they try to do, it doesn't work for some reason. They have been together for a long time. They are still a great team. Don't keep in mind that they're always finishing top 4 on events, and they are on this event, the biggest event ever in Critical Ops. And they have been consistent with the results, but they want the first place, and they were not consistent with it.
All right, well, we'll see if they can get first place here, because we're going to be jumping straight on into this game. It's going to be our exhibition match, best of 1, and it's going to be gun game. We'll see who is going to be able to top the scoreboard here. It's Vision Gaming going up against Set to Destroy.
I'm placing my bets that Angel is going to be the one knifed, because he was the first victim of a knife yesterday. So let's see how that will go. So the point is, every single kill grants you a new weapon, and you have to make a kill with that same exact weapon. As you can see on your screen, Abs gets a kill, switches away towards the P90. So now he has to get the kill with the P90, and after that, he will progress into more stronger and stronger weapons.
Of course, Gun Game, the perfect game mode to showcase all the skins you have collected. And I mean, what else can you use it at this point? But currently, you can see that Abs actually got the kill. Super 90! Ooh, long range shotgun works out in the end. Then Mr. Bates punishes with the P90.
Yeah, they are just fragging it out. There's no team play. And just like Bates said in the interview, he said, yeah, individually, there's no problem.
Yeah.
It sounded kind of sad because, yeah, do you know they're struggling with with leadership, they're struggling with their team play. So I just want to take this moment to talk about more about these teams. Like Set to Destroy and Vision, previously known as Dynasty. They are the European teams. Dynasty always present, the players at least. Kuba, Angel, one of the legends. Kuba as well, Abs, all of these players. And Cheerio, currently named as Chiron. The player, maybe a lot of you don't know who he is, but he has been from the very beginning on the scene. So Cheerio, old school player, stopped playing, and Ajur as well. All of these players have made a name for themselves, so it's not someone unknown. It's not someone who has never won a title. It's just that the current competition is way too strong for them.
Yeah, and one thing that may be interesting is that currently for SDX, Zen leading has the best weapon, has that other sniper on his side, while Kuba on that revolver, able to get it into those duelists.
They're progressing
so they're progressing, yeah. Zen and Kuba leading the charge.
They are indeed. Kuba already on to 1911, and he's closing into that knife really soon. And getting that knife kill is like 50% of the work here. Because
yeah,
it's really hard to get to those players and to try and knife them out. You just need to hide away and hope no one looks at your corner. Yeah, currently how it stands, Kuba and actually Zen is in the better spot.
Zen lagging behind for 1, I believe.
Oh, okay, that's 1.
Yeah, surprisingly. Oh, Kuba onto that P250. He's getting even closer and closer. But the rest of the players...
Pistol that no one uses, basically.
Yeah, but the rest of them, the rest of the players are catching up. You can see Azure on that Eurasia, Zen on the duelist. This is definitely going to be a fight for it at Kuba. That XD is so hard to get a kill with it, especially on long range, even with the buff. Not able to pull it off, and Mr. Bates on that ratio, and Angel camping away.
I don't think we have ever seen XD actually used in competitive play, in the tournaments at least. We have never.
Oh, Kuba's on the knife.
There's the knife, and Kuba. I hope he knifes Angel, his teammate.
Oh,
okay.
I don't think that can happen.
That's not possible. Yeah, exactly.
Look at this. This is an advanced strategy. He already planned this. Well, that was close. Zen with the duelist.
I think I know what was the issue.
Yeah?
I think that Vision Gaming were actually preparing for this exhibition match. I don't think they were actually preparing to take the victory. They wanted to win against Set to Destroy on a gun game.
Could be. Kuba still not able to pull it off. EXO on the
I want to see Kuba. I want to see Kuba
how
how he's handling the knife. I really want to see what his approach is, because he has a lot of trouble actually trying to get to a player to knife, which is completely reasonable. It's really hard to get close.
No,
that's the worst thing is that there's a knife, and Kuba gets it. Kuba wins it out, and you can see the excitement even in XDX's faces.
Yeah, I mean, they have flown a long way. You have to congratulate them. Not the perfect conditions, but have made it to this LAN, and now at least able to have some fun after going out in the groups. And congratulations to Vision Gaming and Kuba, at least winning something.
And also not to forget, they also both won 2.5K dollars.
Yeah, absolutely. So a bit of a celebration match for these guys. Kuba going to be the victor in the end, apparently top slayer on the server. So fantastic job by him. Let's take a look at our Amazon Fire bracket off the back of that exhibition match as we'll be moving on with our tournament. And we should be able to bring that up on the screen any moment now. But the players looking happy with their
there's the champion, Kuba, on his feet,
and
celebrating.
Just great to have an opportunity to be on the stage, right? This is the first ever offline tournament, so feels only right that all 6 teams get to step onto that stage. It was Vision Gaming that managed to take that one. Kuba specifically getting that knife kill in the end. That means it's time for us to move on towards our grand final. That will be coming up in just a few minutes' time. But what a match coming out. But, and good fun for to have a gun game finish there. So very nice stuff coming out from them. And I mean, what was it that Kuba did that made him able to take the victory? It feels weird analyzing gun game, right?
So you know how the players play with 4 fingers. Usually it's a claw grip. I think Kuba's recipe to success is his nimble 2 fingers. Like, he's the only player that probably plays with the 2 fingers. I don't know. I think it's great for gun game, it seems like.
Let's take a look at some of our replays, our Razer phone replays powered by Qualcomm Snapdragon, and we can have a look at what Kuba was doing to manage to take his victory here.
He was pretty much just aiming the heads, getting the kills, just how you would in CS, in any FPS. Critical Ops especially, if you aim at the head and get the shot on, it's usually a kill.
Well, that's how first-person shooters work, surprisingly so. Again, you have to realize that Kuba, he held that lead for a long time. He had some trouble getting that knife in.
I like how you're being so detailed.
No, you have to
like you have casted gun game for like the past 10 years, and you're like specifically saying what went wrong, what went good for the team.
Does he surprise you that Mr. Bates was the one who was knifed?
No, I was actually expecting Angel to be knifed, but since you cannot knife your own teammates.
He's a teammate, so well, that is going to be our gun game done with our exhibition match out of the way. And next up is going to be our grand final. Make sure you stick around. Full best of 3 between Hammers and Gangstars. It's going to be an absolute doozy. Make sure you're there. But we're going into a quick break. We'll be back in just a few minutes' time.
I love Razer because I've been using their products since the beginning of time. I remember back in CS 1.5, Dota 1, all that stuff, I actually used the Razer Diamondback mouse. I didn't realize I needed a gaming phone until I held the Razer phone in my hand. It's got really good refresh rate for the screen, it's got really good battery life so I can play all day, and it's got really good speakers. Mobile gaming is exploding right now, especially when you're starting to see high quality titles like PUBG and Fortnite ported onto mobile. To be able to bring that experience anywhere, especially when I'm sitting in a bus stop, I'm fully immersed in that. And I love how it was designed for gamers by gamers. It just makes so much sense because it's in their DNA.
Time to smash.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Amazon's Mobile Masters 2018. You can see in the background there the Columbia building standing tall, one of the prides of the Seattle skyline there. But we're not here for the architecture, we're here for our games. And we're ready to jump on into our grand final here. Let's take a look at our teams as we move on into this one. It is going to be Hammers going up against Gangstars. Now, both these teams winning out their semifinals 2-0. First of all, let's talk about Hammers Esports. They're going to be coming in. They beat the European team Nova, but they had to go up against Gangstars now. Gangstars had a very, very convincing victory against their opponents. It's about time that we meet our teams though and pass over to a G Fuel interview.
Fishbits, so, you know, I talked to some of the people from Gangstars. They seem ready for you guys. Do you feel ready?
Honestly, we do. We do feel ready for this match. After yesterday's performance, we feel much confident playing against them, and we feel comfortable with whatever they have to throw at us.
Yeah, we heard Alpha talk about how cohesive they are as a team, you know, both, you know, in competition and off. Do you feel the same for you guys?
Yes, we honestly do.
Okay, awesome. We can't wait to watch this.
All right, so feeling very confident coming on into this one, and rightly so. I mean, 2-0s in the semifinals. You got to be coming in swinging here. And this first map as well, it's going to be so important for kind of the mentality moving on and that momentum in this series.
Of course, and this map, the first map is going to be grounded. This is Hammer's probably best map. This is the map where they have made their name. This is the map where Fishbits as an in-game leader excels on the terrorist side. On the counter-terrorist side, maybe even better. Well, Hammers have been shaky in the past, but they have improved on grounded. Usually not enough, and this is usually the map in the best of three, when these two teams have played a lot, that Hammers win.
I think the biggest point here to take away from Hammers is that they are able to withstand under the biggest pressure. Of course, they were not so successful in the finals, but I think being always in that in those finals, so playing against the top teams and just being in a pressure situation, even though they have really young players, you can see that they look like a top team. They are the top team. They are in the finals. They are well deserved in the finals. Yeah, they struggle a bit more than Gangsters in this playoffs, but you were up against Nova, to be honest. So you had to struggle a bit against those kind of players. So playing against Gangsters, I think we're going to see an equal match, to be honest.
I certainly hope so. I mean, we've had 2-2-0 so far today in terms of the tournament, so I'm hoping for a full 3 maps if we can. Let's take a look at our team stats coming on into this one, brought to you by One More. And here we go. So slightly higher average solo ranks here, but solo ranks not as big of a deal coming on into the tournaments. Most of these players are going to be scrimming for the majority of their time played, but KD ratio is pretty good for both teams, so it's difficult to pull away from these stats a heavy favorite. But honestly, it's difficult to pull a heavy favorite on either side anyway.
Yeah, but it makes sense to have Gangsters to have a bigger KD because they are the frag hungry players, especially Alpha and Knight. Both of these players can put up a lot of numbers, huge amount of kills, above 30. That's no issues for them.
Yeah, it never should be an issue, and we have seen that Hammers, every player performed. Every player had their moment in the spotlight. Was it Blue Eyes clutch? Was it High clutch? And even God had a really good performance. Everyone showed up exactly when needed, and that is a quality that both of these two teams have, and that's a quality that's found nowhere else in the critical ops scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how this is going to pan out, because in both of those games previously, we've been talking about how these teams are units. They're team players. That it's not about a singular player just hard carrying the rest of the squad. And when you have two teams going up against each other, that's when those singular players do need to start to step up. Otherwise, how do you get that advantage? You have to have someone leading that charge, and I'm excited to see who's going to come out of the woodwork here and which players it will be topping those leaderboards, topping the frags. And I mean, what are your expectations here? Do you have a couple of players on either of these sides that you expect to be topping the KDAs here?
I think in the most important moments, Knight is the guy that actually pulls his weight. He's the one that starts carrying alongside with Alpha, but Gangsters, usually what we see is that they struggle in the first map. They struggle to get some momentum, and then once they kind of start feeling the opponent, when they start noticing the patterns, then they start adapting. And Gangsters are a really great team when it comes to the adaptation. But then again, Hammers Esports CT sides, I would say that all of these players are really critical to their defense. On the T side, I'm expecting God to actually perform to his best.
Yeah, two players that I always point out every time we talk about Hammers. I always say High and Blue Eyes are players who are 13 and 14-year-old, are really young, but are really talented, really intelligent players, always able to put in the work when needed.
All right, we'll see if they can put in the work in this series. Let's talk a little bit about the map picks here. We're going to be on Grounded first, and it's going to be Bureau and Plaza. What does that spell out for you with these two teams specifically?
I think Grounded should be a map for Gangsters, but then again, as you already
I really cannot agree, honestly. Grounded is the map where I see Hammers winning it. Bureau, always a more shaky map for Hammers, even if they perform versus Nova. I think Grounded is the pick from Hammers, and I think they're ready for it.
All right, we'll see if they are ready for it, because it's time to jump into our grand final here. So much money on the line. Hammers Esports coming on in, repping the blue, and it's Gangstars in the yellow. Both of these teams from North America, and we'll see who will be your NA champions. Hammers Esports up against Gangstars. $15,000 is the first place prize that these guys are fighting for. Let's kick this best of 3 final off.
All-American finals here in Mobile Masters. Gangsters against Hammer Esports. To just get on the side of my European buddies, I'm gonna blame jet lag.
We can always blame jet lag. There is one European in the final, technically. That's going to be Joker. And talking about Joker, he's the only player who hasn't shown up that much today. Looking at how he performed in the Spring Invitational.
Did he actually have an opportunity to show up, to be honest?
Not
so
really.
Against CSPG, there was nothing for him to do. All of the kills were already taken by Alpha, or it was actually Knight and Kingy. So all of these players had kills. There was no reason for Joker to actually perform out of his mind. Now this is the moment where he should be performing out of his mind. But Hammers Esports against Gangstars in the grand finals. They're trying to get the top share of that 40K prize pool for Critical Ops. The first place is gonna get that 15K rolling into them, and the second place we're gonna go home with 10K.
I love the Hammer setup. Stack B with 4 players and have one guy spot onto the A side. So at least you can call the rotation in time. Unfortunately, they're going to have to retake it, but especially on pistols, retaking A is doable and has been done a lot before. Fishbits looking for a cheeky first kill with that revolver, unable to get it so far.
That's why I always see players, actually teams, if you're wondering why are they not sending anyone to A, because it's so easily rushed and you don't have so many nades on a pistol round, which you need on that A side. Now Hammer start off the retake, one of the best teams when it comes to retaking, especially on the A side on grounded. They're going to be defusing straight away. Knight is going to be the last remaining player for Gangsters. He has been getting the kills and he gets fish bits, but he knows that the player has gotten off the defuse. That's Blue Eyes. Bomb taken away. He needs to get away towards Knight, but look at Knight playing this absolutely perfect. What you expect from him, and he has delivered once more for Gangsters, clutching out the victory in a 1-against-2 and placing his team in a 1-to-0 lead.
How come Knight clutches those, makes those clutches with the pistol happen so often? Exceptional pistol player. Could even maybe have the
best.
hold for, yeah, about to say.
The best pistol player in the world, no doubt about that. Knight delivering once more, and now they're not gonna stop. They want those kills fast. Blue Eyes finds one, but it's again Knight with the MP5. He really likes that gun, it seems like. He's down to red HP, so he has to be careful. God, good spot. Just executes Lewis here, and now he's alone with the P250. He gets another one, and he can't get Joker because he is low HP. But thank God for Gangsters that he did not manage to hit those shots, because that would have been interesting. But even then, I think Kingo was close enough to refrag. But then again, a lot of damage done by Blue Hammers Esports in that second round.
Yeah, yes, it is. Still, they have invested in some. I think they had an SMG or two. They had a few pistols. I think that they're not going to have the perfect buy, and you can see this is a repeat from the Bureau for Hammers. Rifle, shotgun, 2 pistols on that third round, so they can buy up fully in the fourth, but they can still at least try and steal this one away. High picks out. Why this is not going to work out as Alpha takes him out. Fishbits with the shotgun though.
Making it look like an Euro ratio, but not gonna work on that distance. Fishbits needs to be a bit closer. Joker getting shot, but not killed just yet. That was a bit scary for Joker. He could have went down because he had that knife in his hands. No way of him actually returning fire. Fishbits waiting away at boxes. No one's gonna show up, and this is a dangerous corner. Fishbits just firing away, trying to hit a lucky shot through the smoke, but Gangsters had enough. They're gonna go back, rotate towards B long, and they're gonna try to challenge the B site.
Lewis taking a lot of map control here. They know that there's no one B halls, there's no one B mid. Can do a lot. That flash mate, you gave them away. Now Kraken, you have to get at least one. You have to delay. You have to do something. Now God, rotating with that pistol, not going to do much. Fishbits, maybe even should just save. Especially with this angle, denies the plant.
Good angle, denied plant, and Fishbits should go for this. Player can clutch this out. But it's a B-side plant. It's really hard. Once the bomb gets planted, it's near impossible to retake. There are so many angles you can get shot from, and not even that. When you're defusing the bomb, they can see your legs, and they can easily tap away at your feet. kill you in that way. Now in 64 HP, 2 Gangster members to be found, but look at the rotation coming in from Lewis. Even if he got rid of Kingy, I don't think he would ever expect Lewis in the same position.
Yeah, Blue is currently leading the chart, but Kraken is someone who didn't have that great of a history. His first big breakout in the scene was playing for D2R in the winter. And that was actually the autumn season, but it was almost winter. It was December of 2017. And he was kicked after the first week. He didn't do that great. This is a chance for him to regain his honor, to establish himself once again. But it's going to be Fishbits.
Fishbits, great angle, great pre-fire on the Knight. They're expecting that A push to come in, but he wants more. He gets 1, he gets 2. That's going to be going down to Kingy, but still not over. 2 against 2. Both of these teams look equal. Kingy already on the site. Rotation, long rotation. Grounded is known for those long rotations from B towards A. And now retake once more. It is on the more favorable site, which is A site, but then again, so many crosshairs to be checked. Alpha waiting for the player to come into his crosshair, but it's Blue Eyes actually pre-firing and getting the kill onto Alpha, but it's going to be Hammers. Perfect retake. And they're going to get the defuse in. Blue Eyes just waiting for his teammate to pick up an ideal weapon. And there's the defuse, which is going to make Hammers Esports get that first round on the board against Gangsters.
Yes, it will. Blue Eyes, I believe, won this round. I mean, Kraken got a kill with the shotgun, yes, but Blue Eyes able to get that pre-fire on that angle. Definitely an angle you do not pre-fire often, because if there's no one there, they know exactly where you're coming from. And it's really hard to retake at that point. But now that as the fifth round will be progressing, hard to actually, you know, count up the rounds. Yeah, it's going to be Joker. He's alone here, and he's in a really tricky situation. It's only going to be a guy picking him out, and God takes him out, deservedly so.
Joker tried to make a solo play happen, but there was no one else to support him, and now he's going to be going down, which is going to place Gangsters at a slight disadvantage going far into this round. But you can see also that High and God are not so great with the HP. It's only 1 bullet separating them from certain death. Look at this, Gangsters on the beginning of the round, they're just all across the map, and now they have a plan towards B, but they're just losing players to Blue Eyes and Kraken. Knight and Alpha actually managing to get those kills, but still a favor for Hammers. Blue Eyes, nice angle, but didn't get the kill. Just waiting around to see if Gangsters are going to be peeking away. There's no need for him to actually wide peek this. He just needs to be a nuisance here in this kind of a position. Alpha wants the kill, and Blue Eyes gets it instead. That's going to place Hammers on a 2nd round in a row now. 7 kills on Blue Eyes, Fishbits on 5. On the other side, Gangsters, it's only Knight on the top. So Gangsters, they have to reconsider their approach. They cannot play solo. There's no reason for Joker to push an A that early without any support. A side is hard to take with 5 players, let alone 1 player.
Exactly. Now the nades and the flashes perfectly will delay Gangsters from actually rushing in, and you can see it on the minimap. There is a player watching for that B-Halls push. Will be rotating now. Not sure what Gangsters want to do. Fidgebits, oh, he's hungry for frags. He's able to get once.
Look
now it's bring down the 2nd.
Look at a position from Fishbits just in the middle of nowhere, no cover to have. And now he's getting the kills. He wants more. He smokes it off. He gets the headshot. Style points for Fishbits as he's just ending off the round, but only 1 player remaining. Flicks him off, and Knight goes to his grave, and that's gonna place Hammers Esports on an equal round number. 3-3. 3 in a row for Hammers. Much harder ones since Gangsters won the pistol and they had those 2 ecos to have. Actually 1 eco. Then Hammers forced it up, and it's all Hammers from there. Really convincing rounds. Really great play coming out from Fishbits.
Yeah. Here's the thing about, here's the thing about Grounded in general for Hammers. They're really good on the CT side. The Terry's above average, but oh, just as I give them some compliments, Knight, Joker, and Lewis get 3 frags, meaning that it's a 2 versus 5 as Hammers in a precarious situation this round.
Yeah, you can see Gangster changing up the pace, changing up the position as well. They started rushing in B mid, and they're successful. And there's only God remaining, trying to get those frags in his favor. The thing is, every single kill counts as the economical damage. The Gangsters are not looking good with money. He only gets 2 before going down himself, and Gangsters are going to reclaim that lead once more. It's going to be 4-3. Knight on 7, Joker on 6. You can see Gangsters are now much more balanced out when it comes to the kills. And Hammers are the one. It's still early in the match to say something like that, but Hammers started to kind of separate from their bottom fraggers.
Just pulling away slightly. 1 lurker for Gangsters, 4 player into luggage. And look at this, Fishbits picking aggressively once more. Now it's up to God. The rotation has been called. It's going to be made harder by that player in security. God has to delay. God has to get at least 2 frags. 3 would be ideal. And that lurk did wonders.
God gets the refrag, and now the push onto the A side is commencing. But God again, from that canals area, is just transferring the skill, and he gets the 3K. Much needed in order to win this round, but will it be enough? Knight in a good spot, surprises high, and he knows exactly where Blue Ice was playing. Or does he? Does he? Yeah, he does not actually realize that Blue Ice is on Banana, rotating towards that box area.
Oh, this may just be a battle of timings.
Definitely is gonna be, but if Knight can slip away towards luggage and go towards B side, that would be perfect. But it seems like he's just gonna be patient. Look at this. Battle of Minds. Knight, a great clutch player, but so is Blue Ice. Both of these players have a lot of experience in these kind of situations. You can see Blue Ice is just waiting around, trying to see if Knight is sticking around. So far, so good for Knight. Now he's going to make his first move, but Blue Ice is so close. I don't think Knight is going to be expecting him.
Yeah, Knight has to make his move. 10 seconds left on the clock. Blue Ice thinks he rotated. Knight being patient paid off. He's able to get the plan down. This Blue Ice knows what's happening now. Still
not sure, but now he does realize that it is indeed the A side. Spots ahead, actually. That was really dangerous for Knight, but he still has his life. Damaged a bit, yes, but alive is the most important thing. Blue Ice. He's not sure when Knight is. A lot of time has already passed, so he has to make a move really soon. Jumping around, but it's going to be Knight clutching away the round in a 1 against 2. Patience is the key, as he does manage to get that clutch rolling into his favor. And that's going to be Gangstar sitting on 5 rounds against Hammers, 3 rounds.
Hammers Esports now not left with a lot of cash. High, only a 19-11. At least AK is on the rest. It's going to be hard to pull off a round from that. 3 players pushing it to B. 1 player aggressive. It's Knight aggressive. B holds and punished immediately. Gangstars. These there a need for these solo plays.
Yeah, Blue Ice gets that first kill. Punishing Gangsters. Impatience. And now they're going to be pushing in security. That's going to be a lot of flares, a lot of presence, but no presence from Hammers. They're just going to be spotting, but now Hyde does not even realize they're already inside, and he gets punished by his mispositioning. And Alpha is going to be the one. Fish Bits, oh, they almost pushed through the smoke, but Kingy, there's no need for you to just spray through the smoke, Fish Bits. He gets punished, and it's all Gangsters on that kill feed, unless Blue Ice can do something.
Blue Ice and Kraken now rotating in. Blue Ice able to at least take out the lurk. He's still a 3 versus 2. He's still a bad position for them, but it's doable. Clutches have happened. Bigger clutches have happened. Kraken looking for someone to make a mistake, but now revealing his position. Not a lot he can do. He's so far away while Blue Ice is almost in the sight.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. Is he even going for it? I think they're... Oh, he's moving. Okay, I don't know why they're not going for this clutch, actually. They could have easily won against, because Kingy and Alpha are relatively low HP. They're only missing 1 shot, but it seems like Blue Ice tried his luck. His teammate Kraken, for maybe some miscommunication, did not even try to go for it, but this would have been I would not blame him to go for that clutch, actually. I kind of think it's a mistake to save in that kind of spot. If this is where you get the momentum rolling back for you. Gangsters get the 6th round, and Hammers Esports, their CT side is what gets them the most of the rounds.
Exactly. You're already down 6-3, and that kind of a mistake cannot happen versus Gangsters. We have seen yesterday, you can defeat these guys. It was a 13-12, it was so close. But then you have to show up. You have to try to make those plays, especially when you're down 5-3 on the CT side of the ground. And there's Blue Ice spraying down through players who rushed the smoke for some reason.
They do rush through the smoke, and Blue Ice is going to have an easy time racking up those frags. Last remaining player is going to be Knight. But there's no need for that. Gangsters, there's a lot of time for you to have. There's no need to push through the smoke. Knight gets the first kill, but 4 more to be found. Spots the player, but that's going to be it. End of the road for Knight as he goes down to the hands of Knight. Actually, High, excuse me. Hammers Esports do get the round, but just to go back to that round before this one, is that you need to take risks in the finals. You really do need to take risks in order to actually win out the championship. If you keep playing safe, that's what is going to cost you most likely. Gangsters are the team that are going to take the biggest risks ever and High just kind of gives himself, goes into the hands of Gangsters, and it's gonna be an early advantage in favor of Gangsters.
Hammers esports have been separated, kind of. No aiming presence and Joker.
Fishbits.
That was dirty onto
Definitely.
Fishbits.
His head went into bits, but God, gotta get Joker.
Oh God.
I told you. After some time, we're gonna start rolling out with the punts, and I think this is the perfect time.
Yeah, the biggest finals in Critical Ops history.
Take out the punt book.
Oh God, yeah.
Blue Eyes finds Kingy, and now he's gonna be Alpha with the grenade, actually getting that refrag. 2 against 2, a bloodbath on B. Kraken just wide peeking for some reason, gets punished by God, but somehow Gangsters do manage, or should I say, Knight manages to clutch out the round in a 1 against 1. Got 2 kills, and that's gonna place Gangsters in a 3-round lead.
So will Blue Eyes and God, 12 kills, 8 deaths. Definitely have been the standout players for Hammers so far. But it hasn't been enough. 7-4, last round of the half. Hammers will love to pick this one up. Then again, yesterday when they played on Plaza, and Plaza's, we all know, it's a really city-sided map, both teams were better on the T side. So that may also be the case here. And High, oh, missing the nade. Could these be the nerves? Missing the second. Oh, that flash actually works out because it goes under the chair.
Yep. Popular flash to use. Now 5 against 5, still no frags exchange, which is kind of weird for this match since we have seen frags go down into favor of these teams in like a matter of seconds. But you can see that Gangsters are keeping, sticking to their old game style. Just go across the map, try to find those picks, which I can't blame them. It does work in their favor, but I think Hammers are just not utilizing their crossfires enough. Maybe it's the nerves, maybe it's the miscommunication. I'm not too sure, but you're not... Usually you don't see Hammers play like that. You don't see them playing solely.
Yeah.
Kraken with double kill. Knight and Kingy find some 2, but it's gonna be Gangster still on top with 1 player advantage. Kingy is barely holding on for this 0 life. Alpha is under some direct fire from one of the players there. I think it's God. Yeah, God behind the smoke, jumping away. Easy kill for Kingy, and there's gonna be the finisher from Joker. 8-4 for the first half. Excuse me. It's gonna be Gangsters, 4-round difference. And Hammers need to wake up. They need to win this pistol round in order to get closer to that lead of Gangsters.
They really, I mean, they need it. Yes, Hammers have a really good T side. Fishbits is an excellent in-game leader on ground, and he can do a lot here. Here's the problem. With only 4 rounds to work with, that you got on the CT side is going to be a lot harder. And Hammers, for the first time in grounded history, are not rushing anywhere on the pistol round. They will play it slow. They will play for the picks. They have a couple 19 level. They have the revolver.
That night could have been dangerous.
Yeah, but maybe they have now realized that there's a stack going on the A side.
Do you think Hammers are giving a bit too much respect towards Gangsters?
No, they're not. They're in the B side.
Oh, okay. 2 players, 3 players. I did not even notice what happened there. They are completely deep. Look at Blue Eyes already. What the hell was that? In the grand finals, you can now afford to get those kind of mistakes. Joker finds a kill onto Blue Eyes, which was supposed to be a Blue Eyes kill. And now Hammers Esports in a lot of trouble, losing members left, right, and center. And only 1 player remaining. That's going to be Fishbits. This was never supposed to look like that.
Never, ever. At least he has a good weapon for this situation, but not going to happen. His feet sticking out and he's going to get punished. But Blue Eyes, such a good performer in the semifinals, and up until now, missing a crucial frag after everything went their way. They had the perfect positions, and after that, everything crumbled because Hammers not able to get those kills in.
Yeah, you can see Hammers have issues in the finals. It's probably, I'm not going to say the C word, but I really hope that they do improve their communication. It seems like the communication is a bit of an issue. A lot of players are making their own calls, and they're going to punish for it. Gangsters, they are a team that can do that, and they are successful at it, but it's because they've been playing like that for the past 2 years. Hammers, on the other hand, they need to go back to their own style, but their chance was probably in that CT side because they need a miracle on that T side.
Yeah, 10-4. I mean, they almost made a comeback happen yesterday. Bureau is still going to be a close map. Grounded should have been their win. This is the map where they have made a name for themselves. This is the map where they were able to dominate a lot of different teams, and they went for those 2 ecos. They're going to allow Gangsters to go up to 11 rounds. As they rush into it, only one guy is here. Those nades can punish him, maybe. Alpha alone on the side.
No damage for there's at least 5 nades and not a single point of damage. But look at Lewis. Actually, Alpha there on the side gets 1 kill, but quickly cleaned up by Lewis. And only Blue Eyes gets that 1 frag. But it's a lot of pressure towards members of Hammers. Knight in a good spot to surprise someone, but not gonna push in just yet. He's gonna be waiting for his teammate, which is Joker, to push in. Great bait coming in from Joker. Knight capitalizes instantly and is gonna place Kraken in a 1-against-2 situation.
Now Kraken. 1911 peeks out. 1 shot onto Joker, did not work out. Fake defuse has got him fooled. Still, planted the bomb, a lot of damage. It was an eco. If this is normal game, I would say, yeah, you did your job. The thing is, you're 11-4 down in the first map of the finals. That's rough. And now you're going to buy up. What is the plan going to be for Hammers here?
What do you even do for Hammers? If you're Hammers, I think you would expect for them to actually get a favorable amount of rounds on the first half.
Yeah.
This is not looking so good.
Once more.
Grand finals, and you can expect anything. Alpha gets 2, almost 3. Fishbit's down to a sliver of health. Kraken finds that refrag. They do have control of the A site, but you know how this goes. Once you're retaking A site, looks easier than defending it at the start, but Kraken finds the first kill onto Lewis. Trying to once more than that, tapping away, not allowing the exit of the player. I think that's Joker over there. It's going to be Knight from the other side. Blue Eyes holding strong, and that's going to be Kraken saving the hopes with Blue Eyes for Hammers. 11-5.
I mean, 11-5, but what a play that is from Blue Eyes. Able to get those 3 kills, able to take control of the map, actually, because he pushed out. He was able to stop that advance from Gangsters from getting in. And when you can do that, that means that you actually took control of the side. And finally, as soon as we get to that rifle round, Hammers win it out, but now Knight in excellent position, has to hold out. A lot of nades going his way, but 3 spray down. Kraken gets 2. Still advantage for Gangsters. What a play from Knight.
Knight just dancing, changing up cover, getting 3 kills, but it's still not over yet. God is alive next to Kraken. Now he goes down to the hands of Alpha. He's down to 5 HP, so he has to be careful. Kraken, if he chucks a grenade over there, Alpha's gonna go down. But that grenade did not land correctly. He does land the bullet instead. And now only Joker remaining. This is a hard plan to have if Joker gets into a position, but he's so close to him. I'm not sure if Kraken's gonna expect this, but now he gives away his position. This is definitely doable for Kraken.
This should be possible. He has all the time to roll. Joker peeks out, and Joker able to contain the Kraken and able to defuse the bomb now. 12-5. Map point for Gangsters incoming.
And you said Hammers are the favorites in the map.
Yep.
I knew the Gangsters. They have improved so much on the Grounded, and I'm not sure what's really going wrong for Hammers. I really think something in the communication, that something's not working out. Maybe the IGL, or you see a lot of questionable players coming up from Hammers. A lot of solo players. They are kind of just pretty much sacrificing their players and losing the round. But look at the amount of nades. Look at the amount of damage. What's more important here? Alpha just having a field day here, getting 2, almost 3. Kraken's gonna find 1, but that's not gonna be enough. God is gonna be the last remaining, the hope of Hammers Esports to try and stay ungrounded for a bit more, but that's not gonna be the case, as Gangsters for the grand finals really convincing, getting that victory over Hammers Esports. 13-5, and every single player from Gangsters has performed.
Yes, they did. And what a performance coming in from them, but Hammers kind of disappointing.
Yeah, fantastic stuff coming out from Gangstars. We were saying this was going to be just about even coming on in. We're expecting a very, very close series here, but Gangstars start things off strong. Hammers did a good job in the first few rounds. It was very even for a little while, but then Gangstars seemed to find their groove. And once they did, it felt like there wasn't much Hammers could do about it.
That's exactly what I said before the match. Gangsters are a team that slowly started off, and the reason behind this is because they are learning the patterns of the opposing team. So Hammers, in order to actually even have a chance of winning against Gangsters, every single round has to be different. They cannot repeat rounds. And you saw that actually Gangsters knew exactly how they were set up on the CT side. And we always praise Hammers Esports on their CT side, but it seems like the nerves are working for Hammers.
This looks like a repeat of the winter invitation, the winter season. This looks like the repeat of the spring invitational. We have seen the same team play such a close game, 13-12, yesterday versus Gangsters.
Yeah.
One of the best games to have been played, really exciting. But as soon as they get to the finals, as soon as the opponent is Gangsters,
when the pressure mounts up,
something breaks. And it's so sad to see. And let's hope they can bounce back in map 2.
Let's not get too ahead of ourselves. There is still 2 more maps potentially. We'll see if they can climb back on in. Let's take a look at our Razer phone replays brought to you by Qualcomm Snapdragon. As we can see what happened here and why Gangstars were such a strong team. It felt like on their CT side especially, Gangstars were just impenetrable.
Yeah, it seems like Gangsters championship through championship every time they're in the finals, and look at this, the cohesion coming up from Gangsters. Yeah, they've been a team for so long that they even came up for their own handshakes. Kingy and Joker over there. But what I wanted to say about Gangsters, it seems like every single time they're in the finals, even if they're losing 12 to something, they always grind those rounds back and they always make it intense. And it seems like they get boosted in those finals. They feel the power, they just play even better. While on the other side, Hammers are the team that kind of do sometimes crumble under the pressure, especially in the finals.
And always in the finals. This is the team that has finished second to Gangsters 2 seasons in a row in North America. And they defeat them in the group stages. They take a map. They cannot do much more than that.
Yeah, I was really expecting, since Hammers, you'd think this was a Hammers pick, and if it was, it's bad news for them. I also want to see that replay from Knight, his legwork, his movement over there next to the pillars, just getting 3 kills.
Yeah.
What a game from Gangsters.
What a game from them indeed, and Knight especially topping the scoreboard, I believe, at the end of that one. So fantastic stuff coming out from him. Fantastic stuff from the whole team on that one. And we're going to be getting ready for the next game. Let's take a look at some of the stats here brought to you by One More. And you can see this is Alpha, one of the real MVPs of this squad. Super consistent player. And, you know, we saw an interview with Alpha at the very start, and he feels like he's grown a lot as a person in this team specifically.
Yeah, and Alpha isn't one of the usual Gangsters players. He's a recent addition. He's here only for a few months, while some of the players playing for years together and being friends. But you can see that he has fit in this team perfectly. He has been an excellent player before, but he is performing massively yesterday and today.
Yeah, Alpha is the kind of a guy that knows exactly. He gets into your head. He knows exactly where you're moving. He's just gonna surprise you round through round. He's gonna get into your brain, and he's always going to peek from different kind of angles, and he's going to rack up double kills, triple kills, 4 kills. He's just really consistent when it comes to multiple kills in a short span of time.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the biggest things, not even just in Critical Ops, in all tactical shooter games, is these players that can get in the minds of the other players, that can understand how the movement works and how to outposition people. They're always the ones that end up being the biggest stars, being the best players on the map. And we've been seeing some great stuff coming out from both Alpha and the rest of his team as well. I'm excited to see what else we'll see as we start to move towards Bureau. So let's talk about Bureau as a map here, guys. Are we talking CT-sided, T-sided? What should we be expecting as we move on to Bureau?
With Bureau, it's always going to be that map where if it ends 6-6, that's okay. 7-5 maybe in the Pharaoh CTs, but heavily depends on which teams are playing. And in the past, Gangsters did not have a good arrow side on Bureau. And this was the map where they actually got upset. This is the map where they lost way back in the summer season.
Absolutely.
But, yeah.
Well, let's take a look at our One More stats for Fishbits as well coming on through. He's had some pretty fantastic highlight moments, as have most of the Hammers players here. Again, another real unit, but Fishbits, especially when he's been in a few positions where he's been holding on his own, but managed to pull it out of the bag.
Yeah, and you would consider that maybe the in-game leaders are not so good in game, but he's proving to be a star player as well, and being the brain of the team. So he's able to do both of these things consistently. But not in the finals. I'm not sure maybe if it's up to him or his player maybe not trusting him. Who knows what's going on? Only them know.
All right, well, it's time for map number 2 here. It's time to continue our grand finals. We're going to be heading on to Bureau to see whether Hammers will be able to keep themselves alive or if Gangstars are going to be your first ever Critical Ops LAN champions. $15,000 for first place. And these guys are battling as hard as they can to snag that extra prize money. It's about time time we jumped onto the server and got this game underway. Hammers Esports going up against Gangstars.
Here we go, potentially the last map if Gangsters manage to snag the victory from Hammers on Bureau. This is going to be a heavily contested map. I can already feel it, but I do not expect Gangsters to slow down one bit. And you can already see that Knight is making his way towards the B site. And the 3 players are actually on Banana, challenging towards A. So it's going to be somewhat of a lure coming up from Knight, but he's already having an active firefight there behind Vents, and a lot of bullets being exchanged. There he goes. Finally, Fishbits finds him. Good start for Hammers, but that's a good call coming out from Gangsters. Actually go into the A site. Hammers already rotated some players, but 3 players are really close to this A site. They have to be careful, Gangsters. They might not expect players. As you can see, that Lewis was not expecting Kraken to be so close. Thank God Kingus was actually pretty close to reach frag. And now 3 against 3. A site is definitely a site you want to retake in this kind of a situation. Blue Eyes starts it off. Joker goes down. Alpha finds a refrag, but 2 players are flanking him, not aware of that situation. And now only is going to be Kingy remaining. He has to concede the position. He has to go back, play the time.
Still, he knows where the bomb is. He can hear when the defuse will happen. Fishbits spamming the defuse, and Kingy
7
It's
HP.
out.
7 HP is what separated Kingy from certain death, and what separated Hammers Esports from their first pistol and round win. But it's going to be Gangsters on the other end, and they're going to be the one charging the lead once more. They have confidence, and once they win the first map, you can see that they relaxed. They started playing even more free, even more confident. Hammers Esports on the other side, they sometimes do manage to close it up. This is their chance to actually bring it back, to bring it to the 3rd map. And they are on the CT side, on the more favorable side for this map, and especially when it comes to their team style. This should be Hammers Esports win.
Should be, but you can see Gangsters have the bomb in Wentz already. Lewis trying to punish those players on that B side. 2 players are there.
Oh wow.
One with the shotgun, one with the pistol. Not able to get it, and Gangsters realizing maybe the right call is to get that bomb into the A site, as there is currently no one there, but a player pushed out. Definitely a weird round, as once more the teams kind of switch sides still.
Yeah, it was contested for a moment. Looked dangerous for Gangsters, but now it seems like they have the right idea on what's going on with Hammers. Knight following up with a kill onto God, and only Blue Eyes remaining. Blue Eyes should get the kill, as he does. Gonna switch it off. Switch it around for the AK. But will he go for it, actually, actively? You see that one of the players, I'm not too sure who that is, over there on the CT alley. Just the timing not working in favor of Blue Eyes, but he's gonna go. He's actually gonna go for this, and he might actually, if he hurries up a bit, flash it out. But I think he might be looking for some exit frags.
Yeah, but
or a ninja maybe. Is this
definitely
possible?
not.
I don't think this is possible. King expects it, but does not fire a shot. No second kill. But even if he got the second kill, it would have been really close to the defuse. A matter of seconds is what would decide the outcome of the round. But Gangstars, there's only 1 player remaining. That was actually a force buy coming up from Hammers, and they managed to do some damage, but I think they were expecting a round here.
Yeah, they had to have been expecting that round. And now you can see Gangsters, they're not wasting any time. They're rushing into mid. That was a good flash. There's a player, I believe. Blue Eyes with the shotgun. Kraken picks out Sandwich, and there goes Blue Eyes, punishing Lewis.
Perfect timing for Blue Eyes. And that attack from Gangsters is looking much more unlikely that it will succeed. 2 only players, and it's gonna be only Alpha remaining. He's really in a really weird spot. He's on the B side, and he got 2 kills, surprising those 2 players. And only Blue Eyes remaining next to Fishbits, but they're both in a 1-against-1 position where Alpha can actually find 1-against-1 duels. For some reason, Blue Eyes fires his shots, but he did manage to connect it onto Alpha, and that's gonna be Hammers Esports taking their first round on the board.
And that definitely was a force buy, but Hammers have been consistently winning those force buys today, making them work with like a rifle, a shotgun, and some random pistols, and they can make it work. They have obviously practiced that one out and throughout. Now 5 players in Banana for Gangsters, playing this one out really fast. You can see how close this is. They do not have the money to buy. The only rifle has just died, and 4 pistols are here. Knight in an interesting position though.
Gangsters so proficient with those pistols, especially Knight. Fishbits. I mean, Hammers Esports realize that they need to take long-range duels, since they have that range advantage due to those rifles that they have AKs, M4 especially on long range is effective, but Joker even more effective at that revolver. That's what you do with that gun. He just lands headshots, got in a bad spot, but not in a bad spot, but could have been a headshot angle here.
But that's the bomb though. Why did Alpha have the bomb there?
Joker grenaded down to 41 HP. Yeah, the bomb has been dropped. Not sure if he realized that he had the bomb, but Blue Eyes and God are gonna mop up the floor. It's only gonna be gangs. Actually, no one remaining. I don't know what I was going there with. Hammers Esports. They're gonna be tying it up 2-2. Gangsters are gonna be able to buy up as far as I can see, but it's gonna be a forced buy. Yeah, only 2 AKs and a few pistols.
I mean, so was the last one, and now that you're going in, they're not slowing down the pace. They're going to be rushing this one out. They want to catch Hammers off guard. As soon as they say that, they stop, and you're spotted now. You know your backwind, but high! You have to hold backwind. That part of the map is so crucial. Allows so much map control. And now we can see Fishbits and Kraken making sure and fixing the mistake that High made.
They are fixing it indeed. In what way as well? Just a few moments, Lewis is going to be the last remaining player for Gangsters, and after what it seemed like a perfect start of a round for Gangsters, it all crumbled down with something we always commend Hammers. Their rotations are on point. They're able to get the best of it. Even though if they lose a key point of the map, they're able to retake it within seconds. You can see that's exactly what happened. Lewis did not manage to do a lot with the 1911, and now it's going to be Hammers Esports taking the lead for the first time in this map.
Finally. Then again, usually when these two teams play this map, it is city-sided. I know we said, yeah, Bureau is like a 6-6, 7-5 map, with these two teams more like an 84. So expect Hammers to pick up more rounds the Gangsters here on that city side, unless something drastic changed. But finally Gangsters forced to eco. Although Kingy does have an M4 and Fishbits will be rotating here. Here's a lot of steps, picks out wide, one not able to get a second.
And yeah, just like that, Hammers completely just stomped out Gangsters in that monitor room. They were able to get those kills. I thought Fishbits might get a bit more than that, but Easy does it. He only has 2 deaths and 12 kills.
It's Blue Eyes wrecking that scoreboard.
Yeah, Blue Eyes is one of the younger players next to High. Really delivering a lot of potential in that player. You can see why brought his team to the finals. Knight, easy shot. That's one of the easiest shots ever for Knight. He's gonna be happy with that. He's gonna be following up onto a second kill onto Blue Eyes, and that's gonna open up the whole map for Gangsters. You can see just how Gangsters do manage to reclaim domination as they have adapted to. But God, look at this. He spotted some players, finds Kingy, finds Alpha as well, but too many players around him to actually do more than that, as Knight is gonna be finishing it off. That kill on Victor Eurasia. I think that was actually a 3K for him.
Yeah, and
Gangsters.
When did this happen? Since when does Knight play that gear ratio? Joker hasn't been using that gear ratio much, hasn't been using it almost at all. Suddenly we see a change onto Knight. Even Lewis using it for a little bit. Well, it's working out so far for him. 3 frags in that last round. 2 opening picks actually. But in this round the bomb is dropped towards B long. Meaning that will probably be the end case scenario for Gangsters. But 2 players in Banana, 1 in mid, they're looking for pick. Playing a little bit more individual, and that Super 90 punishes Alpha. High through the smoke onto Lewis. What? This is game sense. No, wait, that's High from back vent. Makes more sense.
I was like, what? No.
Well, God almost had him though.
Yeah, it was really close. I actually thought that the bullets have connected, but was not the case. Dragon, wow, really doing damage. That's a popular spot for this for Super 90 to have in oranges next to that mid. Knight, easy shot onto High, and he's really proficient by the U ratio. Such an all-around player, but even for him, even for a player of such caliber, I think 1 against 4 is going to be a bit too much, as he's going to be forced to save the sniper, which is a good decision. There's no need to rush with those rounds. You have a map advantage. Gangsters are known to actually have those impact on that CT side. So T side, if they get more than 5, that's really great for Gangsters, as they can really show up on that CT side. On the other side, Hammers are not so known for that T side.
And now that I think about this, this map could just have a little bit of trauma, a little bit of bad memories and flashbacks for Hammers. Because this is the map where Gangsters defeated them 4 versus 5 in the finals.
Exactly.
When 2B is disconnected. And all of the players responsible for that are here. Oh, Blue Eyes though, pushing in and denying that U ratio. Blue Eyes on fire on this map, and even the last one.
That's a key part to take away from Gangsters, as Knight will not have that U ratio anymore. I'm also suspecting he does not have enough money to buy up for that U ratio. As you can see, they would have a perfect buy if he saved that U ratio, but did not. Is not the case currently. They have to work with what they have, but Knight with the AK, even better potentially, and he gets grenaded. Blue Eyes with a double kill. Exactly how you want to start off this CT side if you were Hammers. Lewis, again, last alive against 4 players, and they know exactly where he is. Off angle from high. It's not good enough to actually stop Lewis from killing him. Spotted the legs, I think.
Oh, now Fidgebiz though will punish Lewis.
I really sometimes have a feeling, I'm sorry, like Gangsters are a kryptonite to Hammers. And I think once they convincingly win against Gangsters, that's when they're going to start relaxing against such a team.
Here's the thing, Hammers do defeat Gangsters in lesser tournaments, in the group stages, not in the finals. And I would agree, when they get over this hurdle once, and if they can do it on this stage, when the stakes are this high, what better opportunity. And the morale boost that does for your team, the confidence you get. Now Kraken, all he needs is a Super 90 and a few players up close. Kingy will be the first victim, will not, wins the duel.
Does not win the duel, but that will not matter too much, as Hammers do continue with the kills going into their favor. Only Kingy remaining, not going to do much more. But look at this, just like that, the scoreline has changed quite a lot in the favor of Hammers. They're now on 7 rounds, and that's a 4-round lead. If they get more than 8 here, that's going to be perfect. So it's going to be ending up 9-3. Hammers are going to look really good going into that T side. But then again, Gangsters, those positions have made countless comebacks from that on the same map with the same score lines.
Exactly. Fidgebiz gets the opening frag and spots at least 2 more players that try to break him down into that monitor area. Peeks out.
Alpha.
Yeah, but that peek from Fidgebiz was definitely not needed. God! Oh, you have to win that. You have to get that kill. Now there's a player back went. Now you're surrounded. Now there's so many angles Hammer Esports have to watch for. Map control on the side of Gangsters.
They're all crossing towards back vent, but it's going to be Blue Eyes denying that progression. They wanted to trick Hammers. They wanted to rotate towards the A side, but Blue Eyes has something else to show them. He has locked the door and thrown away the key, and now it's only going to be Joker remaining to try and find that key and kill 3 players in the process.
And Joker, we have mentioned it a couple of times. This is the guy that usually carries. This is the superstar of Gangsters, but not today, not in this tournament. We have to see if he can. I would guess those are the nerves, or I mean a new team structure. They need him right now. You're losing 8-3. You need Joker to show up, and Joker not showing up as Hammers have a pretty dominating CD half. Let's see how they do once they switch sides. But the Gangsters have an opportunity to at least win one more. There's a player in monitors here. Fidgebiz in service, spraying to the smoke. 3 kills, almost gets the 4th. Lewis solo and on the HP, and Fidgebiz finally gets him.
What a play from Fishbits, just completely annihilating Gangsters while they were crossing through the smoke. He gets 4 kills in total, and only Joker remaining. Hammers Esports, have they found the confidence they need in order to win against Gangsters? I was afraid that Hammers Esports might not win a map in this series, but now looking at them, they look confident. They look like they know what's going on. But what a performance coming up from Blue Eyes there.
Blue Eyes has been on fire this game, 19-4, and he has been on fire throughout the day, making those plays happen, crucial clutches, crucial spray downs. But Fishbits in this, well, on Banana, absolutely unstoppable
and
now.
You can see how Hammers are adapting those crossfires, and you can see that Gangsters are trying whatever they're trying a lot of things. It's not working out. Hammers completely just stopped them in their tracks, and now this is the most important round probably of this half. Alpha doing a lot of damage towards the members of Hammers, but that's not gonna matter a lot. Look at the grenades coming up from Gangsters, doing so much damage, and only Blue Eyes remaining just like that, soften them up so much, and then finish them off with the pistols. It's gonna be Gangsters taking that pistol round.
Well, and that's the stepping stone for Gangsters. This is the foundation you need to make that comeback happen. And let's not forget, on Bureau, Gangsters are really good on the CT side. They struggle on that terrorist side. See if
Two Hammers, they're really equal on this map when it comes to their weaknesses and strengths. High pistol, they're pushing in B side, not successful so far. No kills in favor of Hammers. Now there's Blue Eyes finding Alpha, but it's gonna be just a bloodbath here on the B side. A lot of bodies surrounding the members, the live members of Gangstars. They're gonna secure that second eco round as expected. Now they're gonna start fragging a bit more. This is where Alpha should start getting on top of that board. You know that the last time we see him on Bureau, he was just pushing out at random times. Not really random to him.
Yeah.
He knows exactly what he's doing, and he's really successful at it. Let's see if we can make that happen once more. Lewis,
random
turning
to us
off.
random to us mortals.
Look at the grenades. I'm really surprised how teams are performing with those grenades today. They're really on point, doing so much damage before actually finishing him off. And someone ended up in the wall, if I'm not mistaken. The ragdolls never cease to amaze me. And that's going to be Gangsters actually on 6th point. Hammers are going to be buying up. They have a decent amount of grenades. A lot of grenades, 5 grenades actually, so a huge focus on that. So they're going to be flushing out the anchor players from Gangsters, sop them up before pushing it into the site.
Yeah, but Joker picks out aggressively. At least he gets one and runs out of bullets for Kraken. But this favors the terrorists. Now Gangsters have to split up. Now you have to think about how you're going to play, on which side you're going to focus. There's no one back once, for example. If Joker was alive, that's a position you could play. That's a spot you could hold. But Alpha can still make this happen. He can hold this, but not going to work out. Finally, the kill's coming in.
No one checking the headshot angle, which is like the most common position in Bureau. You can just see the crossfires from Gangsters. No one was focusing on Alpha. He got 2 easy kills onto Hammers. Then he got killed, but that was a bit too late as only one player was remaining. That's easy does it. For Gangsters, and they're now approaching the lead of Hammers. You can see that the Gangsters looking a lot they're just transferring the confidence from the previous map. It's all the pressure on Hammers' side. It's do or die. If they lose this map, they're out, and they're gonna be finishing up on the 2nd place. Knight again, those grenades, wherever Hammers go, they're gonna be met up with a lot of grenades. Again, 3 kills in this round. It's all grenades. Joker finishing it off with the Euratio. And my God, I have never seen such proficient play with grenades.
Yeah,
and not only one round, it's round through round through round through round.
Both teams are doing it. Both teams are really performing with those. With Hammers, as we said, when they switch to the T side, they have to bring out their best. And it's not it's not good enough so far. 5 rounds in a row for Gangsters. And even if the Gangsters lose this somehow, they have one more map to play for. Well, Hammers, huge last chance.
They're going for A, they're going for the anchor player, but look at Joker, just gets 3 kill. There's Alpha and Kingy. We saw everyone alive in the last second, and everyone just disappears from the server. It's like they were never on the server. Gangstars, what the hell is going on with you guys? Just absolutely annihilating. It's like another player started playing once they switched to half, and we said that they are the best, that they are a great team on that CT side on Bureau. I was expecting a bit more from Hammers here when it comes to their T sides, but you cannot blame them. They're just getting met up with a lot of grenades. They have to slow down a bit. They have to wait for that initial aggression from Gangsters and have to wait for those grenades to explode. And then after that, when you know that they have not a lot of utility, which they're doing right now, you can see that Gangsters have 0 nades. Now this is looking much better for Hammers.
And one thing about Gangsters, the way that they play Bureau, you cannot really predict how they're playing on the CT side. Like, okay, on the A side, usually it's Kingy just jumping around and playing, you know, playing for picks, playing for information. But on the other side, on the B side, Knight could be back when Knight could go into Sandwich, and Alpha could just take out Fishbits, who took that duel completely unnecessarily. That is a gift, and a gift the Gangsters will use and abuse.
Did you notice that Alpha now is not playing aggressive because Hammer Esports is actually waiting for him to peek out, but he's never peeking out. Alpha knows that he has been an annoyance here on the B side. He's just playing his headshot angle. Hammers are having a lot of issues clearing that up. That's an easy kill on Joker, but I don't think he spotted yet. He did not spot a 2nd player crossing into the site, and that could be a lot of issues for Gangsters, but 1 against 4. Too many to handle for High as he goes down, and just like that, Gangsters take away the lead. It was 9-3. Now we're seeing 10-9, and those was probably the fastest 7 rounds I have ever seen.
Yeah, they just flashed right next to us. The one thing that I'm kind of why this doesn't look good for Hammer is that they do not look focused. You know Knight is playing back flanks. Knight is almost always in that position, and you have to expect it. But this time, he flanked them from behind. No one looking behind, and Joker back on that hero ratio, missed a shot. Kingy, no! All the way from Sora takes a fish, but takes, oh god.
Kingy with the grenades again. Look at his stuff coming up from Gangsters. Confident enough, but look at Hammers losing players quick enough. 3 against 2. Is this actually going to be such a story that Hammers do not manage to win a single map in a best of 3 in the grand finals of Mobile Masters? Blue Eyes peeking away, great stuff, much needed frag, but does he realize that there's one more player there? Kingy, perfect angle, and now in a 1 against 1.
He's going to go.
Hammers must win this, or should I say Blue Eyes must win this round.
Oh, this is weird. I mean, weird. It's probably a smart play, but he doesn't know if Kingy pushed out 2 banana. He went here. Now he hears him. Kingy made some noise. He
Blue Eyes actually heard him.
Yeah.
Oh, this is going to be Kingy's angle, but Blue Eyes actually clutches it and does save the day for Hammers. Does not allow Gangsters to get to that 11th round. They are going to save some cash as well. So Hammers Esports, 10 to 10, all equal. And this is where you cannot afford a single mistake at this point. When it's 10
Look
to
at
10.
how close this has been. You can see that Kraken on that SMG, meaning that he did not have enough money to buy. That's so beautiful. Oh, Fishbits takes a lose though. Wins the duel there, and that gun disadvantage may not come into effect. Alpha is on the side though, together with Knight, and look at the headshots coming in. Look at the spray downs, and nothing going the way of Hammers here, and they have been reset.
Reset in the worst possible way, as now it's going to be 11 to 10. 2 rounds are separating Gangsters from the champion title. Going to be bringing home 15K if they do manage to win those 2 rounds. Gangsters have won 8 of last 9 games.
I mean,
we have checked the statistics, and it's looking good for Gangsters. And now on that on the grand finals, already leading 1 map. Gangsters Knight having some issues, quickly refragged by God. Look at Alpha.
That.
This is Alpha in his prime as he gets the first kill. Not able to get the second, but smartly goes back, and only God and Blue Eyes remaining. Kingy with a double kill. And this is hellhole for Hammers Esports. They do not have enough money to buy up rifles, and it's last chance in the next round, unless Blue Eyes can do something with it in 1911. Grabs the AK. Does not spot the player, actually. How is he still alive? He's getting shot from behind. Lands the headshot. 3 HP. This is not possible. This is not possible. He only has 3 HP and gets the double kill. What? Why is he standing around? What happened?
I have no idea what happened here. Blue Eyes almost makes the 1 versus 3 clutch happen.
Something happened. Either technical difficulties or device problems. I'm not sure what happened, but in the grand finals, he was looking really good. Maybe. Gets the 2. How the hell do you land those headshots? Just a heartbreaking moment.
Maybe the guy had a heart attack. That's my explanation, but we...
Grenades. Is this gonna be over? You only have... It's gonna be 4 against 4, but Hammers deeply hurt as they're losing players fast. So are Gangsters, actually. Free frag galore all across the map. God. Red HP. Blue Eyes is healthy enough.
Will Blue Eyes have a second opportunity to clutch it out? To make up for being able to get the 3rd kill last time. Knight is so close here. Takes a God all up to Blue Eyes once more to keep Hammers alive in this finals.
Blue Eyes, last remaining hope, not gonna make it. Knight is gonna get that title to the Gangsters' hands, and they're gonna be crowned as the champions of Mobile Masters. They have won the 15K prize, and a well-deserved victory from the boys from the North America.
And your first ever offline champions here in Critical Ops. Gangstars have done it. They are the champions, 2-0, not losing a single game here today. Phenomenal performance for them. They can go home over the moon with this performance.
Oh yeah, they can be proud where they got. And everyone was doubting their performance coming up to this competition. I mean, they said, Gangsters on LAN, they might, you know, flop, but they were not bothered. No. They delivered. and they delivered in style.
They've absolutely delivered. Take a look at your Amazon Fire bracket right here. Gangstars are going to be your champions in the end, managing to win out that $15,000 and becoming the first ever LAN champions for Critical Ops. And what a way to do it. But that was by no means an easy task for them, especially map number 2 there. Such a great performance by Hammers, especially in the first half.
Yeah, they gave it their all. On the City side, they played their style, they played how they had to, and they managed to keep Gangsters at bay. As soon as they switched sides, does it look like they're out of ideas at a few points? They're not able to make it happen. They're not able to actually put in the rounds. And that Blue Eyes clutch, so heartbreaking in the end, not able to happen.
Yeah, absolutely brutal for him. Let's take a look at our Razer phone replays powered by Qualcomm Snapdragon as we can glance over some of the highlight moments from this game. And there was a lot of highlights here.
Oh, yeah. We saw... Well, Hammers Esports looked really good on the CT side, something you would expect from them. But then again, switching off the sides, Gangsters are the same team as Hammers and Bureau. I would say they have similar styles. Gangsters looked way more confident. Knight delivering with that U ratio. You don't see him often using the sniper, but man, oh man, did he deliver.
I mean, that's a surprise. When you have Joker on your team, you expect him to be the guy to use it. And on the City half, he did, and he used it effectively. Going into that second half, he had 3 kills only. After that, he came out and I think finished 4th or something like that on the scoreboard. Definitely, he has been one of the key players to pull it off.
That's such a heartbreaking moment for Hammers. Definitely a well-deserved, maybe an expected final, some would say. But I was really expecting Hammers to get rid of that curse from Gangsters and to actually surprise us all. Gangsters, the only surprise was here their performance and all of the players delivering on time. However, you can see on the scoreboard, it was not something in Nova's case where players were really... They were not as balanced when it comes to the kills. Gangsters, every single member has delivered. Every single player, wherever they were challenged, they were able to actually complete their task.
Yeah, let's take a look at some of our statistics as well coming out of that incredible grand final, brought to you by One More. As always, it was a 2-0 in the end, but honestly, especially on that last map, it didn't feel like a 2-0 victory. That felt hard fought at the end there, but we do actually have an interview with our players from Hammers Esports, so I'm going to pass it over to Maria Ho with our G Fuel interview.
Hammers, I know that was tough for you guys the first map. There seemed to be a little bit of miscommunication. You guys rebounded so nicely in Bureau. Obviously, you guys were up a lot of rounds, and I don't know what happened. Can you guys explain?
So basically, Brew is actually like one of our weaker maps, and it's really based on somewhat CT. As you can see on T side or CT side, we were really holding it down, but some of our pushes were a little too basic and we could have split up more, and we just kept lining up and getting cladded.
Yeah, well, it's still a great showing. You guys are going to take home $10,000 for your efforts. What do you guys think you guys can take from this into the next competition?
We can definitely just have a better mindset and not try to lose focus mid-game, and just we'll get them next time.
All right, well done, guys. Back to you, Joe.
Thank you very much for we'll get them next time, and you know, they can be happy with this performance. Definitely a commendable performance from the Hammers, and I hope to see them at the next one. I hope to see them keep looking up and keep continuing to practicing, because this is a team with a lot of promise here.
I mean, being second on the biggest competition so far in Critical Ops history is no small feat. So Hammers, yeah, they're going to be disappointed a bit, but after a few days when they settle a bit, they're going to be really proud what they have achieved, and they're just missing a slight change of something when it comes to the finals. They need to just refresh themselves a bit or take another approach in the finals, but they have all the foundation is set for them to become the best team in the world.
Of course, and I mean, then again, we mustn't take anything away from Gangsters. It's not that Hammer is on the choke. Gangsters have been the best team for so long currently. The last match they lost was in the summer of 2017. They've been consistently winning tournaments. And when that is happening, you have to see that they're obviously doing something right, even after so many roster changes.
Yeah, it seems like there's just an X factor, some kind of mojo that Gangstars has that no one else seems to be able to scratch at. They've been so consistent for such a long time. I mean, what is it that sets them apart from the crowd, that makes them able to take championships like they just have?
Well, as you heard on the interview with Alpha, they consider themselves as family. They have...
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's just about that
It might be a huge factor.
You mentioned the interview. We actually have our winners standing by on the stage. So I'm going to pass it over to a G Fuel interview with Maria Ho and Gangstars.
Right away. Gangstars, congratulations. You guys are the Amazon's Mobile Masters 2018 Champion of Critical Ops. Here's your trophy. Told you I'd give it right back to you. Nice job. So obviously a pretty dominant performance overall today by you guys. You guys always seem to show up, perform. What is it about this team? No pressure.
Honestly, it doesn't come down to how we play in game. It doesn't come down to how we just do in the scrim. It's honestly that these guys, I would not be alongside anyone else right now. These guys are like my brothers, and I just love them for what they are. Like when you have good synergy out of game, like it's just magic in game. So obviously everything clicked. 13-4 on Grounded, and then we came back on Bureau. That's good game to Hammers, man. That's definitely what happened.
Kenny, do you have anything to add to that?
It was just a family. Really, it's more than a family. It's more than an organization. It's like we're brothers, and like he said, we didn't want to be here with anybody else.
Well, there was kind of a lot of fuss being made about the fact that this was the first offline competition. Do you guys feel like that factored at all into the way you guys wanted to show up and perform?
Yeah, sort of. A lot of we play online differently, and then when we come play on LAN, it's a lot of pressure. You're nervous. You know you're freaking out, but yeah, we performed pretty well.
All right, well, awesome job. You guys are taking home $15,000. Enjoy your time here in Seattle.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
What a fantastic performance coming out from those guys. And they're going to be over the moon with that victory in the end. It couldn't have gone to nicer guys either. But that wraps up our tournament here for Critical Ops at Amazon's Mobile Masters 2018. Gentlemen, final thoughts on the first ever offline tournament for Critical Ops. It's been fantastic.
I think we had the best possible teams ever to compete in this competition. I think everything went to plan with the teams. Maybe, yeah, we had some tears, we had some laughs, but in the end, it all matters that the scene is evolving, that we have more of these kind of tournaments. So I think everyone's going to be happy in the end.
And one thing that has to be confirmed now is that Gangsters are the best team in the world. Someone has to challenge them for the title. Hammers tried so many times, but at this point, no one is close to them. And they have confirmed it on LAN. They have confirmed it that they can do it in the highest of pressure with the highest of stakes. Only fun stuff ahead of us.
Yeah, fantastic stuff coming out from Gangstars. They are going to be your champions, and that is going to round out our tournament now. Later on, we're going to be jumping into Survival Arena. We're going to have a bit of a pre-show and a bit of a discussion of all of the games that's been happening up next. But then later on, we'll go into Survival Arena 1v1.